You are listening to the Two and Out CFL podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
And my name is Travis Currah, joined by Sheldon Jones, live on YouTube, live on Twitch for the very first time. we gather kind of bi-weekly during the off season and then twice weekly during the regular season because we're nuts for the Canadian Football League. And I see that the live chat is already firing off on YouTube. David is tuned in from Rochester, New York. Stu is in BC. Leanne is in Vegreville, Alberta. Oh, and then Leanne asking the most important question of the night: what's everybody's snack of choice? So Sheldon, I feel like we should start with some show and tell, maybe.
We should. Snack of choice: old Dutch popcorn twists.
Okay.
And I got maple cookies.
Ooh.
Delicious. And one more. Got to do the Ruffles all dressed.
All dressed. All right. Oh, Austin, he has cheesies in hand. Man, we're going good. So I have a coffee crisp bar on hand, a Canadian classic. I've got some Canadian tap water. I had to be careful. My other cup spoils the game we're going to watch today, so I had to swap it out. I've got some Canada Dry. I have a delicacy from Vancouver Island, a Nanaimo Square I got today. And what else did I get? Let's see. Oh, Old Dutch ketchup chips, the all-time classic. So yeah, we take this very seriously on this Grey Cup Rewatch. Thank you so much for even considering joining us for a fun day like today. Before we get to the game in question, there has been some CFL news this week. I do kind of wonder what... we got Dirt Nation joining us from Illinois. Sir Hugo from Victoria. This is absolutely incredible. Lamont County, Alberta in the house. Ooh, Leanne's got... some Pereshki on the go. Cheesies, chicken Caesar salad. Wow, this is unbelievable. But the CFL news this week, Sheldon, is the fact that the revenue, I guess, has been so good in the CFL that the salary cap is going up by a whole 10%. I actually feel like that's pretty crazy. But the way it's been announced has been ruffling some feathers.
Well, one in particular, I think Zach Collaros has not been very happy about it, but it does seem interesting. I don't know if the teams did find out at the same time as the rest of us, because it kind of seemed like the Players Association just made the announcement, and I guess it's their decision on what happens with the revenue sharing. So adding to the salary cap is probably the best thing there, but. Yeah, Zach Collaros, I think, pretty unhappy about a certain king moving, down east, and maybe was hoping that money could be used to get him to stay there.
I do kind of wonder, because officially today the CFL's negotiation window came to a close, which means that teams can no longer negotiate with pending free agents. It is over, and then Wednesday, free agency will officially open. But there has been some deals kind of being leaked, or at least almost on paper. And I wonder if this budget increase for teams will change things, and maybe some of those deals will fall through. That would certainly be interesting if some of those end up kind of reverting or going elsewhere on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, our friends in the Canadian Football Podcast Network, Canadian Football Countdown, are going to be live streaming for 8 hours on YouTube. They're raising money for CFL fans fight cancer. Such an incredible initiative. So Ryan, Adam, and the guys there, man, great work. 8 hours. That is serious dedication. But let's talk about the matter at hand. I kind of spitballed on the last pod about watching the Grey Cup today. One of the Grey Cups. We got a lot to choose from there. But I wasn't sure which one, and I wasn't honestly sure how to do it. The fact that I've got this live chat going on my phone is a miracle. And I'm watching myself on a 30-second delay. So we're live. We are working. We had about 3 days of voting. We had 8 Grey Cups to choose from, dwindled all the way down to 1. And we have to say thank you to some folks for helping make it happen. We've had some fans from America email in and saying yes. And I noticed a big contingent of Bills Mafia after losing to the Chiefs last week. They're like, yeah, we're out. We need something else to watch on Sunday. So they're not putting themselves through tables. They're relaxing, and they want to watch a classic Canadian football game today. So that's what we're doing. And we settled on the 1989 Grey Cup. Now, to this day, some say that it's the greatest Grey Cup ever played. And I'm going to try to speak about this game without spoilers. If you've never been exposed to this Grey Cup, if you haven't, I'd love to know in the live chat if you're just watching this game for the very first time. I think that would be so cool if you tuned in just for that. But Old Man Shouting Out Clouds, who has a podcast on YouTube, he's coming into season 2. He's told me about some big improvements happening onto the show. He's got a big following on Blue Sky. And he's been really big in like pushing me. And you too, Sheldon. I always am afraid of failure. So I don't want this to fail. And Old Man Shouting at Clouds, shout out to you for helping us push me to this point. And you, Sheldon Jones, for getting us here as well. Now, I was a month shy of my 2nd birthday when this game happened. You were what, just over 2, something like that, when this game happened?
As 4.
Now, the Ticats, they had been in several Grey Cups in the 80s. First in the East Division, coming into this game, heavily favored. The Riders hadn't won for 23 years. In fact, the starting quarterback in the last Grey Cup that they had won is in the broadcast booth for this Grey Cup. You'll see a young Matt Dunnigan, who's currently quarterbacking the BC Lions during this game. He's doing some analysis. Scott Oak, Don Whitman. This is an absolutely classic broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. But those Roughriders, 9-9, heavy underdogs coming into the 1989 Grey Cup. And the big game was when they beat a 16-2 Edmonton team in the West Final to get here. Nobody thought that they could do it. And clearly including Edmonton, who overlooked the Saskatchewan team.
Yeah, it was kind of not unlike more recently for even just, last year when Toronto was 16-2 and hosted Montreal, and then Montreal, did what they did and went on to win the Grey Cup. So, there's certainly some mirrors there, just, teams taking other teams for granted. And honestly, even when it came down to this matchup itself, Hamilton was 12-6. The Riders were 9-9. So I think Hamilton was pretty. They were walking in thinking that they were heavily favored when it came to the odds too. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us here. We're gonna play the whole thing without commercials, the way it was in 1989. So we're going to pop in and out, maybe some commentary, read some of the comments that you've been making in the live chat during this 89 Grey Cup rewatch. But for now, we're just going to let the legendary Scott Oak and those CFL on CBC broadcasters take it away with the 1989 Grey Cup.
In its brief history, the Skydome has hosted some major events, and today it is host to what is often called Canada's #1 event. There are 55,000 fans on hand here, and millions more joining us for the television broadcast. We welcome you all to CBC's telecast of the 77th Grey Cup game. If this season had unfolded as many thought it would, then neither Saskatchewan nor Hamilton would be here to contest this Grey Cup. But last week, when Saskatchewan did the unthinkable and dispatched the all-powerful Edmonton Eskimos, the stage was set for a Grey Cup matching two teams steeped in tradition. A Grey Cup offering all sorts of potential. And to discuss some of it, let's go to the broadcast booth and join Don Whitman and Ron Lancaster.
And Scott, the first order of business, congratulations, Mr. Lancaster, on being selected by the fans as the #1 player of all time. You know, in any championship game we're on, no position evokes more discussion than that of quarterback. This year is no exception. There was some debate as to who should be the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, particularly when you have two capable of starting.
Very capable quarterbacks. Kent Austin will be the starter. I don't think it was ever in doubt. Reason, he's an excellent starter. Burgess is better coming off the bench. They both can throw the football, and their statistics prove it.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders during much of the season had a problem keeping their receivers healthy. I think they're coming into this game with what they consider their #1 receiving core.
They finally got everybody back. Ray Elgard is a position. He's a possession receiver. But these are the guys with the speed. Jeff Fairholm, if he gets the ball one-on-one, he's a threat to go to distance. And Don Narcisse has had a year that I don't think anybody ever thought he was capable of having. But he's playing with the confidence now, and that's what makes him even better.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats, when they think about the Saskatchewan running game, will concentrate naturally on Tim McRae. But he's not only a threat as a runner, he was their second leading pass receiver.
An excellent pass receiver. One-on-one, he can outrun the linebackers. But Tim McRae ran for 120 yards this year against Hamilton, and he rushed for an average of about 5.6. This is what he does best. Once he turns upfield, he knows where he's going, and he's very, very tough to bring down.
In winning the Western Final against the Edmonton Eskimos last week, the Roughriders had tremendous success blitzing Tracy Ham. They led the league this year in quarterback sacks. Will they blitz today?
Oh, they've got to blitz today. But if you're going to blitz against Hamilton, you better get inside pressure. That means Gary Lewis and Klingbeil have got to go inside, and especially Lewis. The outside, they'll get Suter up there, and they'll get Eddie Lowe up there, but they've got to get the Kerrigan because he'll get rid of it in a hurry.
When you talk about the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense, an offense that is capable of scoring a lot of points, is there any one play that they like?
There sure is. Throw downtown on Hamilton in man coverage, and this is what they love. Jim Rockford's a safety number 6. He's back there for one reason. Anybody goes deep, he's going to try to help them. So we're going to send the wide receiver to the post. That will take the corner. Now Jeff Fairholm, number 18, will go down. He will go to the sideline, and he will go deep. Throw it downtown, keep Rockford occupied, you got a chance to win.
And I'm sure both coaches, John Gregory and Al Bruno, are aware of that play and are thinking about it as they congratulate each other prior to heading to the dressing room and coming out on the field for the start of the game. Welcome back to the Skydome in Toronto and Grey Cup 89 on CBC television. The Hamilton Tiger Cats kept the media and many of their fans in suspense much of the week. It wasn't until Thursday that Al Bruno confirmed that Mike Kerrigan would be his starting quarterback.
He may have fooled them, but we knew he was going to start, Don. He is a starter. He gets rid of the football in a hurry. He threw for 7 touchdowns this year against Saskatchewan. He gets back, he reads quick, and he throws it. If you're going to blitz him, now you contend with Tony Champion, who had club
There's so
records
many
in
great
receiving yards and
comments
touchdowns.
coming in
They are
here
a heck of a
on
combination.
the live
finished off
chat.
the game in the 14-10 triumph in the Eastern Final over
Civil
Winnipeg
Ape
last
saying
week.
it's a
Todd
shame
Dillon
that any
was the starter.
memory of all the
Perhaps
Argos
prompting
games
the
and Grey Cups
decision
held
by
at
Bruno, the fact that
Skydome
Dillon had been sick
isn't
much of the week.
memorialized
Yeah, he has, but I think
anywhere,
the
and
move
that's
was
so
right.
true. Like
Todd
this
Dillon is a better
game,
quarterback coming
it's
off the bench. The
the Skydome was brand new. It was a shiny piece of technology, a marvel in Toronto, Ontario. You know, the Blue Jays still play there right now, but in 1989, the Skydome was brand new, Sheldon. You were there for the 100th Grey Cup, right?
I was, yeah. My wife Tammy and my sister Stephanie and Craig. Yeah, we went there and it was awesome. It was our first time being at a Grey Cup outside of Regina, and yeah, it was just at that time it was just so big league to us because we'd only been to the 2003 Grey Cup here, which was pretty good. But yeah, I loved going to Toronto, and I loved everything about being in the big city. It was my first time in Toronto. It was great.
The concrete jungle. It can be kind of overwhelming as a small town guy, you know?
Yeah.
I love this comment from Lori Ann, who says that she was lucky enough to be at the 89 Grey Cup after a 33-hour bus ride from Regina. Regrets the decision to think Bailey's was a good beverage idea. By the time they got to the Peg, which is what, 6 hours into the trip?
Yeah.
She said her tongue was furry.
Jeez. Yeah. Lori is great. Thanks. Glad to see you, Lori.
And then old man shouting at clouds. The radio rights holder for the Roughriders in 1989, and in fact now CKRM, he was an employee in the lounge there. The engineer, he was an engineer, and the boss wanted him close. If anything broke, he was good at his job. So everything was good, and he got to watch the whole game. And here we are today, reliving those memories.
Capacity crowd settling into the Skydome here in Toronto. This is one noisy facility today. And now we have a chance to reintroduce you to our game day experts, all-star linebacker from the Argos, Don Moan, and Matt Dunnigan, the starting quarterback from the BC Lions. You guys were both in this situation a couple of years ago. Matt, you as recently as last year, in the dressing room, collecting your thoughts with minutes to go before kickoff. What were your thoughts, Don?
You're extremely nervous. You cannot wait for this game to get underway. You've played all year to get here. It's come down to this moment. Let's get this thing going.
All right, let's see your Grey Cup ring, Matt. This is what it's all about. And you said at this time last year when you played in the Grey Cup game in Ottawa, you were in the room taking deep breaths.
That's right. No matter how many times you play in this event, you're going to be nervous. I was talking to the referees beforehand. They're even nervous. So everybody involved with this spectacular occasion is just nervous, a little uptight, but it should be a lot of fun.
We remind people that you two guys played in what was considered to be the greatest Grey Cup game ever played in 1987 at BC Place in Vancouver. Interesting to see if this one measures up. Let's go now to the player introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fans, mesdames et messieurs, amateurs de football, at this time we would like to introduce today's starting lineups for the 77th Grey Cup game. Nous voulons maintenant vous présenter les alignements partants de ce 77e match de la Coupe Grey. D'abord avec l'unité défensive des champions de l'Ouest. Beginning with the defensive unit of the Western champion Saskatchewan Roughriders. Defensive end, number 70, le numéro 70, ailier Vince Goldsmith. Defensive tackle, plaqueur, numéro 99, number 99, Chuck Klingbear. Defensive tackle, plaqueur, numéro 79, number 79, Gary Lewis. Defensive end, ailier défensif, numéro 71, number 71, Bobby Jurison. Linebacker, secondaire, numéro 74, number 74, Dan Razovich. Linebacker, secondaire, numéro 39, number 39, Dave Albright.
Now, we did see Bobby Jurison a few players ago, so I just wanted to talk about Bobby a little bit because there's already been comments in the live chat about Bobby Jurison being the best Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive player of all time, but he was an all-Western defensive end, 87, 88, 89, 92, 94, 97, all-Canadian in 87, 88, 92, 97, played in 2 Grey Cups, 89, 97 as well, and he went into the Hall of Fame in 2006 with Gizmo Williams, Matt Dunnigan, Alan Pitts. Like, what a class.
That's unreal. Yeah,
that is
wow.
Sheldon.
Dunnigan's looking good.
142 sacks in his career.
Oh yeah, Bobby J is my favorite. I remember getting to meet him when at the practice field at Old Taylor Field. He was the nicest guy. And then I remember the year that we caught him, and then he signed with Toronto and he came back as an Argo for that preseason game, and I was just bawling when I saw him. I was so rattled.
Did little Sheldon have a Jurison bandana?
Oh, several. Big Sheldon still has a couple somewhere around here.
Oh, look at Suits and the mustache coming out.
Good old Suits.
coach John Gregory, ses assistants and the rest of the Western Division champion, les champions de l'Ouest, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And now, from the Eastern Division de la Division Est, l'attaque des champions, the starting offense of the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. At center, le centre, numéro 56, number 56, Dale Sanderson. Garde numéro 63, number 63, Daryl Harl. Garde, le garde numéro 58, number 58, Jason Riley. Tackle, le bloqueur, numéro 68, number 68, Mike Dirks.
Don't these old linemen just like weathered? They look like they've been through battle.
And it just from back in the late 80s, just the way that people are aged differently, right? Like Tom
there's
Brady
the great
looks
Rocky
younger than all these
DiPietro.
guys. Yeah,
Here he comes.
man, those huge shoulder pads and I love it, man. I miss this.
This is awesome.
Slotback, demi-inséré numéro 89, number 89, Richard Astel. Wide receiver, ailier espacé, numéro 87, number 87, Tony Champion.
Now, I think Tony Champion is one of the greatest names in CFL history. But it's also important to remember, as you watch the game, apparently he played the game with broken ribs, which watching it now, I can't fathom doing that. It's mind-blowing.
Especially near the end of the game. There's he must be one of the strongest men of all time if he was playing with broken ribs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's go, everybody.
Fullback, centre arrière, numéro 35, number 35, Jed Tommy. At quarterback, le quart, numéro 2, number 2, Mike Kerrigan. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef Al Bruno. His assistants and the remainder of the Eastern Division champion et tous les autres membres des champions de l'Est, les Tiger-Cats de Hamilton.
Well, both teams in the Dome undefeated this season. The Ticats winning their 2 regular season encounters here in the Skydome against the Argonauts. The Saskatchewan Roughriders won their lone game in this facility against the Toronto Argonauts.
A lot of emotion down there, Don. Neither one wants to be the first one to lose here. The biggest thing they got to do, get emotion out of the game after the first couple minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now present the game officials for the 1989 Grey Cup. Mesdames et messieurs, les officiels pour ce match de la Coupe Grey 1989. The referee, l'arbitre en chef, working his 4th Grey Cup game à son 4e match, the Calgary, Dave Ewell. Today's alternate, le substitut arbitre-chef, his 7th Grey Cup assignment, à sa 7e présence, Scarborough's Ross Perrier. The umpire, l'arbitre, in his 8th Grey Cup game, à sa 8e présence, Ottawa's Chuck Paul. Also from Ottawa, in his 2nd Grey Cup, à sa 2e présence, head linesman, le juge en chef de ligne, Ross Sanders. Our line judge hails from Calgary. Juge de ligne, his 1st Grey Cup, à son premier match de Coupe Grey, Ross Hutchinson. The back judge, juge du champ arrière, Bob Steen of Edmonton, sa 3e Coupe Grey, his 3rd Grey Cup. Today's field judge, le juge de champ, is Larry Rowan from Vancouver, his 4th Grey Cup appearance à son 4e match de Coupe Grey. And the alternate official, l'officiel substitut, is working his 5th Grey Cup à son 5e match de Coupe Grey from Winnipeg, Art McAvoy. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, today's games officials, les officiels du match
It's so
d'aujourd'hui.
cool seeing Bud Steen there.
I fought for
1989.
Bud Steen.
Now, Bud Steen's final game, 509 CFL games under his belt, was actually the 2010 Grey Cup between the Roughriders and Alouettes in Bud Steen's hometown of Edmonton. That's a cool way to cap CFL career.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to take the time out to just thank everyone for not just spite voting 2009 for this Grey Cup rewatch to make 2 Rider fans have to rewatch that. So thank you.
Roger Aldag, number 44, like that is a old lineman I would not want to mess with.
He's a bridge. Yeah. But you know what? I think I'd mess with him before I mess with Elgard.
Yeah, he looks like, he's a mean receiver up the middle. Let's get to the coin toss.
Whichever you pick from. Okay, switch it around. Hamilton receives the ball. Have a good game, gentlemen.
Ron, your thoughts on the choice of the Hamilton Tiger Cats to receive?
I don't think it matters in here. You know, we're not worried about the wind and the rain today. Just go ahead and take the football and get the offense on the field. They need to get Kerrigan started early, get him on the field right now.
Was that your feeling as a quarterback? You wanted to get the offense into the game quickly?
Oh, I always think so. Like I mentioned earlier, Don, emotion. It runs so high in a game like this. You got to get that emotion out of your system that first couple minutes. It's been building for a week. You have to get to where the talent comes to the front, and that's why you get out there quick.
Well, of course, as everyone is aware, this is the first Grey Cup appearance for the Saskatchewan Roughriders since 1976, when they lost at CNE Stadium 23-20 to the Ottawa Roughriders. The Hamilton Tiger Cats last played in a Grey Cup game in 1986, defeating Edmonton 39-15. John Gregory hoping to win only the second Grey Cup in Saskatchewan Roughrider history.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, some special guests will perform the ceremonial opening kickoff. Quelques invités spéciaux pour le botté d'envoi protocolaire. Please welcome, s'il vous plaît, accueillez the Canadian Football League Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, le président directeur général de la Ligue canadienne de football, Mr. Roy McMurtry. And the CFL President, le président de la Ligue canadienne, Mr. Bill Baker. The Mayor of Tigertown, le maire de Hamilton, Hamilton's Bob Morrow. the mayor of the home of Rider Pride, Regina's dog Archer, le maire de Regina. The Premier of the province of Saskatchewan, Grant Devine, Premier ministre de la Saskatchewan. The Premier of Ontario, David Pearson, Premier ministre ontarien.
So Sheldon, there are first-time watchers in the live chat. I'm seeing Zeke Boy says, I didn't exist when this game happened, so I'm watching for the very first time. Matt is watching from the UK with pizza, which is awesome.
I forgot, I also have pizza, Red Swan Pizza, a Canadian company.
I had to be quiet for half of OK. Leanne is asking if there are streakers in this game, and I don't think there was. There was at the most recent Grey Cup, I can tell you that.
The official party
there was.
To center field for the ceremonial kickoff.
Matt is saying, yeah, he's watching it for the first time. Tyler was 10 years old, watched it when he was 10 years old live that year. So this is that ceremonial kickoff, and then real kickoff will be shortly here. Still considered 1989 one of the greatest Grey Cups ever played. Sheldon, you remember your first Rider game? Or maybe you don't. How old were you?
I was like 4 months. I was born in March, and I went to games when I was a baby, so yeah, a few months old. I also apologize, I didn't realize it was the anthem. I wasn't paying attention. So I apologize for that.
So you've had season tickets basically your entire life?
Except for 1 year. 1 year when I was like 16 or 17. I thought I was too cool to go with my mom anymore, and then I regretted it. And went again the next year.
Well, that's a pretty serious, I would say, streak you got going on there. 1 year of your life as a non-CFL season ticket holder, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but I don't have that seniority with the Riders, of course. But it's all good. I'm a lifelong Rider fan, but loving the CFL as a whole more and more every year too, though.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all my sons' command. Quand on doit se porter la paix, il sait porter la croix. Tant histoire et tant épopée, des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard.
We have some final thoughts now from our game day experts as the linebacker Don Moan continues to resist the
Maybe it was a God Save the Queen, O Canada montage that happened earlier, but that was quite the performance and quite the applause from the CFL faithful in Toronto.
She belted that out. That was powerful.
I saw Trina in the live chat saying, oh, she just loves the 80s fashion. And just look at Matt Dunnigan's hair in the middle, and yeah. And he's got the earring on the left side. When he turns his head, you'll see that bling that Matty D is wearing. But I will say, like, when you look in the crowd, you look in a crowd now, everyone has a jersey. Everyone's got the numbers. Back then, nobody wore jerseys. They didn't sell them back then. So it's definitely a funny observation as we watch this game.
This 1989 Grey Cup game. The build-up, the hype is over. The players are now center stage. It is up to them to perform. There's the signal from referee Dave Muir. David Ridgway kicks off. McAdoo starts out from the 14-yard line. A couple of good blocks. And he runs it back to the 37.
Mike Kerrigan threw for 5 touchdowns in the last game they played against Saskatchewan in a 46-40 win, so he knows he can move the football through the air.
Kerrigan did not start in the Eastern Final against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. In the second half, he came off the bench as a replacement for Todd Dillon. He threw the only touchdown pass the Ticats registered last week in their 14-10 triumph. The handoff goes to Derek McAdoo, and McAdoo blows his way out to the 45-yard line. That will be a gain of close to 6 yards.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats have some keys, but definitely the biggest thing they have going for them is Derek McAdoo running the football, catching the football. Tony Champion outside at that wide receiver. He's got to be big. Earl Winfield, we put him in there for this reason. He's going to get some wide receiver, but he's going to be in there on the kick returns, and that could decide the ball game.
At the moment on this second down play, Wally Zatilny and Tony Champion are the wide receivers, and McAdoo is the ball carrier for the first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, brought down by Gary Lewis.
Well, we've got to look to see what Saskatchewan's going to do defensively and where Glenn Suter's going to line up today. But we talked about Gary Lewis, inside pressure. He's got to be there. Eddie Lowe's their best tackler. Outside of Albright, who controls the middle, Lowe sideline to sideline. And Harry Skipper has got to play well. This could be the biggest day of the year for him.
Kerrigan reads the blitz well most times and gets that ball away quickly. He was trying to hit Champion. Harry Skipper was defending against him. I think that may have prompted Al Bruno to start Kerrigan today. The fact that he throws just a little quicker than Todd Dillon.
Oh, he sure does. Mike likes 3 steps and throw. He doesn't want to drop back. The thing he noticed here, the reason the ball was thrown back, Harry Skipper is a gambler. He's going to gamble on those plays. You got to go deep on him early.
Second and 10. The ball is at the 49-yard line. Here comes the blitz from the outside, and they've got him. Glenn Suter came from the outside. Chuck Kingaw came up the middle.
He come from that outside linebacker position, a 4-4 alignment, whatever you want to call it. They just bring him from the safety up on the outside. He came hard on the blitz. You'll see him at the top of the screen. Kerrigan is forced to step up. When he steps up, the pressure inside gets him.
Paul Osbaldiston with the first punt of the ball game, standing at his own 30-yard line. 12:53 is the time remaining in this opening quarter. The ball bounces to Mark Guy at the 21. And Guy tried to maneuver but couldn't escape the grasp with 12:41 left in the quarter. Saskatchewan starting quarterback Kent Austin did not throw as many touchdown passes this year as teammate Tom Burgess, but Ronnie had a better percentage.
That's the key. They must control the football, and you do that by percentage. You do it by hitting those 8-9 yarders.
First and 10 from the 27-yard line, incomplete. First pass over the middle intended for Ray Elgar.
And they got to try to get that ball to Elgar. Tim McRae. It's going to be fun to watch him today because he's going to be a pass receiver. Even though he can run, I want to see who covers him man-to-man. Fairholm, we talked about his speed, and Narcisse, just what they mean to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Second and 10 from the 27-yard line. 12:18 the time left, and it's still scoreless. Opening quarter of this 1989 Grey Cup game. Austin escapes the pressure, tried to dump it off to Nelson Jones. And it's 2 and out for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And they got the pressure up the middle. They want middle pressure on Kent Austin. That's what they want. Ronnie Glanton again beats the center inside, forces Austin to step around, and he has to throw the football away. They've taken that man, Darryl Corbin, out of the middle, putting him at a rush in. It's going to mean the tackle has to block him.
Terry Baker stands at the 11-yard line. Don't be surprised if the Hamilton Tiger Cats try and go after this one. This was their game plan. Try and pressure him back in his own end. Excellent kick by Baker. That's a beauty. Winfield retreats to the 35-yard line, gets a couple of blocks. He loses the ball. It goes out of bounds. I think it is going to be Hamilton ball, but the Riders are protesting that he kicked it out of bounds.
I think he did kick the ball. That ball went off of his foot.
That was a 23-yard run back. Winfield doing a lot of running, trying to pick up blocking help. And watch and see if, in fact, he kicks that ball out.
He makes a lot of good moves, Don, coming back across the field, but that ball's going to come loose. It's going to be very interesting to see just where it went. There goes the ball off of his foot and out of bounds. He sure did.
He did kick it, but it was not intentional. That's the ruling of the officials. Sideline pattern for a first down as Wally's the
So you see how fast-paced this game is? Like, there's no instant replay. Now, that if a kickoff goes off of somebody's foot out of bounds, we're fighting about it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker pace than I remember.
And that was quite the return from Earl Winfield, one of the greatest kick returners in CFL history, making that Rough Riders special teams look a little bit silly early on in this one. And Earl Winfield did that to several special teams throughout his career. There was an interesting comment that came up on the YouTube chat, and it's true. Coming into this game, both teams weren't exactly sure who would start at quarterback. The Rough Riders had Tom Burgess and Kent Austin, and it wasn't, 100% decided that number 5 was going to be getting the start for the Riders in this one.
Yeah, I think Burris came off the bench in the previous playoff games and helped get the wins there. So, we've seen that in multiple times actually, where it's up to the team to decide, are they going to ride the hot quarterback, or are they going to go with the starter who should be ready to go, and elected to go with Kent Austin, and I'm excited to watch and see how it works out for him.
Yeah, that was a question mark for Mike Kerrigan as well for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Almost didn't get the start in this game, or at least, I don't know, back then I don't think they were playing mind games like now.
Yeah, Mike O'Shea wasn't coaching back then.
Yeah. But both quarterbacks have a heck of a game, as you'll see as this game goes on.
You have to know it's coming and be ready for it.
Second and 2, they won't get it. Eddie Lowe, the linebacker, made the contact. The Rough Riders had injury problems at that linebacking position this year. As a matter of fact, there was probably one point in the season where no one really wanted to dress as a Saskatchewan linebacker because of the number of injuries they had. Watch Eddie Lowe fill the hole on Derek McAdoo, the ball carrier, with help from Albright.
All they do is fire out the ball, try to move him, and let McAdoo pick a hole. But Eddie Lowe went with him. If you didn't block him, he'll make the hit.
This is certainly within the range of Paul Osbaldiston, a 42-yard field goal attempt. It is good. So Paul Osbaldiston, who emerged as a kicking hero for the Hamilton Tiger Cats back in 1986, puts it through as the Ticats are first on the board.
He's had an outstanding season. He really came along as a kicker this year. He started slowly, he struggled, but in the past 5 or 6 games, he just hasn't missed from those field goal shots, and his punting has improved a lot. Joe Zuger worked with him, and that really helped him.
However, a very strange thing happened to that young man in Winnipeg this year. He was sitting at his locker. His helmet fell off the top shelf of the locker, hit him on the head, knocked him out. They had to take him to hospital for further examination for a suspected concussion. As a result, the Ticats began storing their helmets underneath the locker.
I told you about those kickers, man. You never know what they're
Did you hear that story? He's sitting in the locker in Winnipeg, and the helmet falls off, knocks him out. So,
Unreal.
Paul Osbaldiston, I think, also one of the greatest names in CFL history. I've often thought, like, I need to organize a fraternity of kicker fans for the Grey Cup, because we could get legend. If you're willing to buy a kicker jersey, there's been so many great kickers in this game over the years, whether it's Louis Pasaglia, Paul Osbaldiston, Noel Prefontaine. Like, I don't know why I know so many CFL kickers, but they're so important to the game.
Paul McCallum, Troy Westwood. You're right. And that was like, that seemed like it was the glory days of the kickers, but it's like 80% was good back then. Like, now, if you're not 90%, you're terrible, and you need to lose your job. So it's crazy how the technology in kicking and just the athletic ability of these kickers has improved so much.
Gained a lot of ground, but Corbin run him down. Mike Walker and the rest of them will shut it off inside. But Jim Rockford in the middle in that defense, he can really help those defensive backs, and they know he's there, and they can gamble a little more.
Second and 4 from the 41. The pitch to Tim McRae. McRae will not get the first down. Tim Lorenz, who was playing that stand-up defensive end position, made the tackle. Lorenz played that spot for the first time last week against Winnipeg as the result of a wrist injury to Rod Skillman.
You see the toss. Here comes Poley and Aldag leading it. But look at the Ticats. Pepin Jordan, number 12, up to turn it in. And as you say, Don, Lorenz is there to make the hit.
An injured Saskatchewan Roughrider, and it is Jeff Fairholm, and this could prove costly to Saskatchewan. Fairholm was hurt earlier in the year. He returned in a game against Calgary. One play, he was forced out of the game. They need Jeff Fairholm at that slot backing position if their passing attack is going to be successful.
I had a talk with him yesterday about that ankle problem. He said it's only sore right in the front, and when they get it strapped and taped the way they have, he said it usually is no pressure, no problem. But the problem is the artificial turf, the continual pounding. He's just going to have to go with it for 60 minutes today. He'll be back.
And despite the many millions of dollars that have been spent on the Skydome, the turf has drawn considerable criticism.
Oh, it sure has, well, especially for the seams that just doesn't fit right and so on, but that's something they'll work out over the winter, I'm sure.
Saskatchewan is going after it on 3rd and inches. Quarterback Kent Austin.
Yeah, we had a comment, Jacques Cartier, saying, you know, back then, obviously no instant replay, but no score clock, no down and distance, nothing like that. So you had to pay attention. By the way, we are at 3-0 Ticats at the moment, I think. But yeah, you had to pay attention. And they did just mention that Skydome turf. That thing just looks like a carpet over concrete that's about that thick. I would not want to get tackled on that stuff.
No, and I guess that's the benefit of those giant shoulder pads that they have, so they could shield them from that. I remember the turf on Taylor Field back in the day, and I played football, and I wrecked my shoulder on that turf. So I can attest how bad it feels to get tackled up there.
Now it's Ticats ball on the Riders 50 after Kent Austin was picked off.
Slow start.
Richard Estelle is back in for the Ticats at that spot back position as Kerrigan on first down tries to throw deep. Almost intercepted by Harry Skipper.
Once again, Don, bring Glenn Suter up in that outside linebacker position. Now, we've got to know if he's going to blitz. We saw him blitz early. This time they drop out 4-deep zone. When you throw down the middle against a 4-deep zone, you should have 2 defenders there, and there were. So that's the way you play it.
Who is that guy?
10, the ball is at the 50-yard line.
That wasn't the Flame.
No.
No. I think they do show the Flame in this game.
I believe they do.
Yeah, there's Tony Champion with a big gain. Playing injured in this one, and you could see that hit did hurt him. He's playing with those hurt ribs right now. But, yeah, he's not done in this one. The Flame, he's passed away now, but, I mean, he was, I guess, legendary in Roughriders lore because he had this flame coming out of his head. I think he used, like, some sort of powder that was very flammable.
I don't know how the sausage got made there. I'm not quite sure.
I've seen him in a Grey Cup parade. I'm serious. It's like 15 feet. Like, this is a hazard, and he's doing it inside a stadium.
Wow. Yeah. And eventually, I believe there was urban legend that an accident did happen, and that led to him not being allowed to continue to be the Flames. So I'm surprised it took as long as it did, though.
And you heard on the that first play of this series, the Ticats had a quarterback lining up at slot back. Now, of course, 2 quarterbacks are allowed on the field again, so I guess we could be seeing more of that in the CFL.
Yeah, that is true.
He's looking on the side. That ball goes up in, and one thing it's going to do is going to knock the wind out of you in a hurry. Then if you don't break any ribs, you're lucky. And that's the big thing about it. I don't think he broke any. I think he'll be back.
He was runner-up for the Outstanding Player Award in the Canadian Football League to Tracy Ham, the quarterback of the Edmonton Eskimos, who established a league record for quarterbacks this year, running for over 1,000 yards, a record that was held by a former Ticat player, Ken Hobart. Winfield is in there, replacing Champion at wide out. It is 1st and 10. Incomplete. Tilney had a little trouble trying to get away from Harry Skipper.
Try to run a pick, try to cross those 2 receivers, try to get the 2.
Yeah, Brian's saying maybe Champion didn't come into the game with that injury. Maybe that was the play where it happened. But playing the majority of that game hurt because he did look like he was in some significant discomfort there.
Yeah. If you break it clean and catch it, it's a touchdown.
2nd and 10 from the 31. Hamilton leads 3-0, 6:17 remaining in this opening quarter. Here's the blitz from the outside. Kerrigan gets away from Goldsmith, but he can't deliver the ball to Wally Zatilny.
The big thing about it, a quarterback, when a rush comes like that and you step inside it, you got to be able to step inside, gain your composure, and throw it on the money. He couldn't do it. You get a little bit excited and you throw it high. Watch, he sees it, he just has to let it go. Wally Zatilny really has no chance to catch this one. It's just too far for him.
3rd and 10 Hamilton, and Paul Osbaldiston for the 2nd time will attempt a field goal. This one is 4 yards shorter than his previous field goal. It's a 38-yard effort. And like the first, it too is good. And Hamilton leads by a score of 6-0 with 5:51 remaining in the opening quarter.
Don, they've set the tempo that Hamilton feels they can move the football on him. Saskatchewan's gonna, it's their turn. They've got to show they can do it.
And the Ticats will again be kicking off after the second Paul Osbaldiston field goal on the sidelines. Let's bring in Steve Armitage.
Don, there's considerable concern on the Ticat bench, as you might expect, with the injury to Tony Champion. He has bruised ribs on the right side. He's being looked at by the team doctor and Jonesy, the trainer. They're checking him out. They may have to tape him up. They hope he can get back into the game, but we really don't know just how serious it is right now.
Tony Champion, the big weapon in the Hamilton attack this year. Their leading receiver with 95. He established a club record with 15 touchdowns. McRae from the 15-yard line on this kickoff return. He runs it back to the 43. Stopped by Steve Jackson.
They're going to get over on the sideline, and Brian Walling and Sean Daniels are going to say, you should have followed us to the outside. Not really. McCray has to decide when it's time to go. He exploded. He just didn't get through there.
29 yards on that run back for Tim McCray. John Gregory signed to a new contract just before the season ended. And he has accomplished what some consider the major upset of all time in the CFL, beating Edmonton last week. Mark Guy with a catch inside the 50-yard line, stopped by Sonny Gordon.
They broke a tendency. Tendencies mean you always do certain things. They bring number 18 Fairholm inside to block. Normally they run from that formation. All that does is get some single coverage. Mark Guy on Will Lewis. He makes the catch. He almost gets away from him right there. That's a good thing to do early. It breaks a tendency, and that bothers the defense.
19-yard gain. James Ellingson is in that slot in place of Fairholm. Sideline pattern intended for Donald Narcisse. It's incomplete.
Had to throw it high. The reason for it, Sonny Gordon, the inside halfback's floating out underneath that out. You got to get it over his head and get it down. Sometimes you can't do it.
You think Donald Narcisse was hyped for this game?
You see Don Narcisse's towel that he's got? It says "Hi, Mom" on it.
He always was shouting out his mom. He's so wholesome. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to the one other guy who's in Twitch, or one other person who's in Twitch, because I'm also watching in Twitch, and there's two of us. So, thanks, buddy.
Third down coming up for the Riders. 2 incomplete passes intended for Don Narcisse there. Ken saying, yeah, no flags, challenges, or command center back in 1989. It sure is kind of refreshing.
It is, and Don Narcisse, he still holds the record for most consecutive games to the catch. Over 200.
That is unreal. So there's been some questions about the Flame, or some shout outs to the Flame. So that siren that you can hear, that's from him, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. A punt single as the Roughriders get on the board with 1 point. If you've never watched a CFL game before, the Riders kicked or punted into the end zone and went out of bounds. So that is a single point on the board. That might be new to you.
If Super Bowl winner John Ryan was watching, he'd be really happy with that.
Utilize an overhead camera as we look at the offense disperse on this first down play from the 35-yard line after that Terry Baker single.
That's giving me early Madden vibes.
Saskatchewan showing blitz movement at the line of scrimmage. This draws a penalty flag. The Riders lined up offside.
Eddie Lowe was offside. This time they tried to give him a different look. Glenn Suter lined up where he normally does at that safety position. Then, at the last second, gets up and tries to come up the middle into Kerrigan's face, but that man lined up offside.
A very intense individual. He was hurt earlier this year. He still wanted to play.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 42. First down repeat.
And the Rider equipment staff were telling us when we were in Saskatchewan for the game that Eddie Lowe had to sit out, they had to hide his equipment to keep him from practicing.
Well, he learned that a long time ago, and he said, if you don't get hurt, somebody take your job. He says, I'll be out there.
The penalty presents Hamilton with a 1st and 5 situation, and McAdoo will be very close to a first down, stopped by middle linebacker Dave Albright.
Most all defenses play what they call gap control defenses, which means if you start to run to the left, everybody comes down. When you cut back, the backside linebacker should be there. There he was waiting on him.
It's just short of a first down, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats send out their short yardage offense. Some quarterbacks have been known to throw in this position.
It's better on third down.
McAdoo gets the call, and if he made it, he just barely got across that 45-yard line. Vince Goldsmith was the first to make contact with McAdoo, but the referee, Dave Ewell, signals a Hamilton first down.
When you get in those short yardage situations, it's the team that gets the lowest that wins, and Vince Goldsmith got awful low and got penetration, but he just wasn't able to make the tackle, and then the Hamilton Tiger Cats won the other battles, and they get the first down.
2:35 remaining in the opening quarter. 1st and 10 Hamilton from the 45-yard line. Winfield on the sidelines will get another Hamilton first down before being forced out of bounds by Larry Hogue.
Good read by Kerrigan. He reads so well. He will show you a zone defense. We're going to look straight down on top of it. What happens is Larry Hogue will look for the defensive back number 3. You'll see him standing with number 89 as the ball goes by. And look who's outside all by himself. Now you'll see the man coming into the picture. There he is, Steve Wiggins, but he was in a zone defense, which means he can't get there any faster.
Winfield lines up in that wide-out position, replacing the injured Tony Champion. Derek McAdoo, the ball carrier.
I had an interesting question pop up in the chat about how different rules were in 1989 versus now. And I actually think that's a very interesting question. I think there's a few in the live chat, honestly, that may be able to speak to it better than me, but honestly, it seems like most of the changes in rules kind of have to do with safety, I would say now. Like, it's a very similar game now to what it was, or what we're watching now, I would say. Back then, though, definitely higher paced, I would say, than it is now. But I think most of the rules that have changed are regarding physicality, I would say.
Yeah, I do think they have changed some rules to increase offense as well, obviously, to get scoring up. But, yeah, these guys, like, it seems like it would be a lot harder. You'd have to be a lot more conditioned to be able to go this quickly without having the, slower time to set the ball and to get the play clock going and all that. So these guys are crazy athletes, man.
Well, the reverse angle could be very revealing on this one.
This one might have replay. Let's see. Here we go.
The blitz comes. Same play they opened the game with. Only this time, Richie Hall goes for the interception. All he does is tip it up, and then Estelle turns around and makes the catch. That's the way it goes. That's a break. That's played very, very well by Richie Hall.
We didn't need the reverse angle on that one. You saw very clearly that Richard Estelle made the catch. First down into the end zone. Touchdown, Tony Champion. Tony Champion went to the dressing room, was retaped, and that is his first play back on the field since that injury, and he responds with a 13-yard touchdown reception from Mike Kerrigan. Paul Osbaldiston with the point after, and with 15 seconds remaining in this opening quarter, the Hamilton Ticats have taken control.
We shouldn't be surprised by that throw. Think back to last week. Wally Zattilny caught the touchdown.
Yeah, you see the Ticats get that touchdown. They're up 13-1 now, but that's pretty tight on the sideline there for Tony Champion. He only needed to get 1 foot in bounds, but he got both in bounds. But the play before that, Richie Hall, DB for the Riders, tips it up. A key completion for the Tiger Cats. Now fans will know Richie Hall is most recently winning 2 Grey Cups with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as their defensive coordinator. A very successful coaching career Richie had, but I know there are some Edmonton fans in the chat. Maybe we won't bring up his head coaching days in Edmonton, but Richie is a DC. He had some success. I know though lots of fans will defend it as a bend, don't break philosophy, but got a championship or 2 rings with Winnipeg.
Yeah, some coaches just aren't cut out to be a head coach, and maybe that's not what they should be doing. But Richie was able to have an amazing career, and look, we got a nice big return here on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, the Riders are in the Ticats end, down by 12 points in the 89 Grey Cup.
Watch the move on Donahue Grant and Sonny Gordon. Watch another move coming. I'll tell you, he's tough to tackle, and that you love to start on the other side of midfield.
55 yards on the return. This should be the final play of the quarter. The first down from the 47-yard line, and it's McCray diving ahead for about 2, stopped by linebacker Peter Giftopoulos. And that's the final play of the opening quarter. 13-1 is the score. This is Foster's Grey Cup on CBC.
So it appears this issue has an advertisement in it, but it's not from the 80s. So we'll go to this view until it's over. But we're after the first quarter in the 1989 Grey Cup. I got a mouthful of ketchup chips. James is watching, and he asks what a blitz is. Sheldon, that would basically be sending anybody extra on the defense that's not on the D line, right? To make it simple.
So, yeah, pretty much just getting extra bodies there so that the O line has to try to double team or not double team, try to get 2 at 1, and it's just causing a mismatch and hopefully getting a sack to the quarterback.
That's a dangerous type of throw. The other team could pick it up.
What they like,
Let's
this
just
is
give
the
a
screen.
shout
This
out
is that
to
slip screen, running
the
screen.
commentators.
There,
I love the old school CBC commentators. It's just got me in the feels right now, to be honest.
Very fortunate the ball's not intercepted.
Yeah, Don Whitman and Ron Lancaster, and they all have the matching coats on. Yeah, that was awesome.
Through that opening quarter here in the
Another
Skydome.
punt for the Riders here.
He's trying to angle it to the sidelines, and he'll put it out of bounds. An ideal kick down at the 5-yard line. I think they'll actually spot it at the 7.
So am I crazy? Now, if you watch a home game in Montreal, you will hear horns going crazy every time that the Alouettes are on defense. But throughout this Grey Cup, I'm hearing several crazy things coming from the stands. On that punt. Look at that guy. Speaking of horns, I don't know if you could bring a trumpet into a game now.
Yeah, well, unless you're part of the pep band or something. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It's not a mechanical instrument, so maybe you could.
16-yard line, he'll be about a yard short of a first down. Richie Hall made the tackle.
Boy, there's an awful big hole for the ball carrier to go through. We're going to take a look at him coming out of that halfback position. Watch the hole open up. There goes Vince Goldsmith to the outside. Glenn Suter's blocked to the outside. Jason Riley is the one that turns upfield and seals it, and then McAdoo can just run.
Second and just a little more than 1. It's going to be close. Jed Tomey, the ball carrier, and it may require a measurement. Jed Tomey has indicated that this will be his final game in the Canadian Football League. He is going to retire at the conclusion of this Grey Cup game. He has been a very vital part of that Hamilton offense as a blocking back.
4 years out of Guelph University, it is a surprise that after 4 years a guy would think of retiring. But sometimes he's proved that what he can do. He's been in a Grey Cup. He's had a good career. He feels it's time to move on. You certainly can't blame him. It's his decision.
On his first carry of the afternoon, Jed Tomey gets the Hamilton first down. One of his more memorable moments in the CFL occurred at the Hall of Fame game in Hamilton. His grandfather, Andy Tomey, had been inducted, and after he scored a touchdown, he presented his grandmother with the ball. Derek McAdoo, driven back by that hard-charging Saskatchewan defense, led by Gary Lewis.
Once again, Glenn Suter at the outside, got inside the block. Watch when he runs. You'll see Glenn Suter go by on the left side of your screen. There he goes. That forces him right back in. And when you have 3 big guys like Goldsmith, Lewis, and Lowe waiting on you, you're not going very far.
Second and 10, the ball at the 17-yard line. Champion is stopped at the 25. And he is going to be very slow in getting back on his feet. He, I'm quite sure, is playing in pain.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you bruise some ribs, they hurt quite a bit. You're either going to play with it or leave. There's not anything you can do for it. It just hurts.
Champion was stopped a yard and a half, maybe even 2 yards short of a first down, and leading 13-1. Al Bruno didn't hesitate. He sent out the punting unit.
Well, just think back to the last time, 2nd down and 1.5. They only went and made it by like 3 or 4 inches. When it's there's 3rd down and this far, you better go ahead and kick it.
Richie Hall and Mark Guy are back for Paul Osbaldiston's 3rd down kick. Richie Hall takes it from the 35-yard line. He's hit hard as he's brought down at the 47. 11:55 remains in the half.
A lot of shout-outs to official Dave Ewell in this one. In the 1993 Grey Cup, I think, 81st Grey Cup, he actually ruptured his calf muscle in the game. Jeff Fairholm back into the game with a big catch for the Riders. And Ken Lazaruk had to get onto the field as an alternate official. So, hey, these officials are in they can get hurt too, man.
For sure. Yeah, we've seen that happen numerous times. But, geez, rupturing a calf. Oh,
yeah, that sounds horrible. So back in 2005, it was Dave Ewell's 25th season. At that time, 434 times he reffed a game. I was watching that play there. And that was his 15th Grey Cup in 2005. I'm sure the Edmonton fans will have fond memories of that Grey Cup at BC Place.
Looks like he hurt his shoulder a little bit, and Lance Shields is the other one that's down on the ground.
After Rockford went up, he was hit hard from the backside by Elgard, who was also going after that ball.
The right hand knocked it away, and he landed on his left shoulder, and then Lance Shields got up limping a little bit, and he is still on the ground over there, and Ray Jones is looking at him.
Lance Shields is having that left leg looked at, and the way Ray Jones is treating him, you might suspect cramp. Lance Shields.
I love Leanne's comment. She says you can get just about anything into a football stadium. You just have to be creative or have a friend. Says, or if you're voluptuous. She once smuggled an entire tray of Jell-O shots into Commonwealth Stadium. I can confirm this because that was actually the last time I shaved my beard, which was 9 years ago, I think. So it was late in the season. It must have been Movember that I was preparing for, and she brought in some Jell-O shots into Commonwealth Stadium. And everything that people remember about that game, I don't even know who was playing, is that I had no beard and Leanne brought Jell-O shots. So that's what CFL fans are all about, man.
Yeah, and I have witnessed many women smuggle many things in that area. So yeah, it's my hat is off to y'all, ladies.
Big catch from Ray Elgard there. And on that previous play, that big incompletion, it almost looked like Elgard was trying to get a DDT in there. If this is going to be incomplete, you're going to take a hit.
Yeah.
And I will say, I know this Grey Cup is not in or on the prairies and not outdoors, but that winter gear has a lot of hiding spots as well. I don't know where I'd put a trumpet, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Man, that was a big throw and a big miss from Kent Austin.
Down, out, and turn up the sidelines, and that's what Jeff Fairholm tried to do. He just didn't have enough room on the short side of the field. Rockford has to cover Narcisse. This is a tough job. Let's see what they're going to do here. You always got to let them know you're around.
There would be 4 flags if that play happened today. Look at this. They just go to the next one. And Narcisse just dealt with the face mask, and there he gets the big catch, putting the Riders within striking distance of their first major of this game.
No doubt about what you do when the starting corner goes out of the ball game. You got your best receiver, their best corner is gone. You have to try to get to him. Now he starts to his left. He gets the one-on-one coverage coming back. He throws the football. Narcisse clears it right across in front of Donahue Grant. And then Rockford, all he can do is trail him across the field. A heck of a throw and a good play by Narcisse.
First and goal. Donahue Grant at the safety position. Rockford on the corner. End zone. Touchdown. Elgard.
Just a corner pattern comes off. Good move, runs in behind Sonny Gordon. They didn't get the switch made. You saw Sonny Gordon leave him. That means Donahue Grant's got to pick him up. As soon as Elgard saw that, he ran away from the coverage.
David Ridgway adds the point after. And only 5 points separate them. This is Foster's Grey Cup on CBC.
The middle that time, and they released Jed Tommy, and he just couldn't get him the football.
Mike Kerrigan's job today will be to
few big completions by the Riders on that drive to bring them within 5. Ray Elgard there with the touchdown. I saw this comment, and there's lots of comments in the live chat suggesting that the Riders should bring these jerseys back. You know, we've talked about, and there has been a moments of nostalgia with the CFL in the past decade or so. There have been 70s retro jerseys, 60s retro jerseys, but in general, they seem to kind of avoid the 80s, Sheldon.
Yeah, which I don't understand because I love them. It's probably because they took gray out of the logo scheme, maybe, but for one of these games, I want to see that wraparound helmet decal because, that's where it's at. I love the retros. I love all the jerseys except for. I couldn't get with those black and red ones. I couldn't do it.
That was weird.
But those 80s 90s era jerseys are probably my second favorite.
About 5 Roughriders needed to tackle number 23, Rocky DiPietro, one of the greatest to don the black and gold in the sea. Look at the magical world of Disney will return next week at this time.
Not today, Disney.
The Grey Cup took precedence over the magical world of Disney on this day in 1989.
Champion came off, took about 4 steps upfield and stopped. Skipper started off, and then he just run right by him. Kerrigan just threw it too far. Watch him. This is good. This is a battle. He'll stop. Now here comes Skipper, and he takes off. And you can't let a guy with champion speed by you. When you're a quarterback, this is the biggest fear you have. When you have a guy wide open, don't miss him.
Second and 10, Hamilton. 7:08 remaining in the half. The ball is just outside the 30-yard line of Saskatchewan. There's the blitz. McAdoo is open. Touchdown. Linebacker Steve Crane was coming on the blitz. Kerrigan got it away just in time. The result is a 30-yard touchdown throw to Derek McAdoo.
The biggest thing with a quarterback when you blitz If you throw quick, you'll get rid of it. He came outside. You must get up the middle in his face, and they couldn't do it.
Point after by Paul Osbaldiston. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats have regained their 12-point advantage.
It did not take the Ticats long to answer back and take that 12-point lead right back in this 1989 Grey Cup. McAdoo was like shot out of a cannon on that touchdown there.
Yeah, he was like, it's like Forrest Gump when he was playing football. I'm surprised he stopped. Like, he just right through the middle there. That was fun to watch.
I love these magical world of Disney memories as well. The CFL taking on Disney back then. I love that. CBC. Like the TV deal, now this is a giant conversation, and I know it can get crazy sometime, but the TV deal for the CFL is up in, is it 2 seasons? Not this season, but next?
Yeah, end of 26, I believe.
What a catch from Jeff Fairholm. Let's go back to the game.
Pass interference. Hamilton, decline, touchdown.
There were penalty flags, but they were against the Hamilton Tiger Cats for pass interference. A penalty is declined. The result is a 75-yard touchdown. Jeff Fairholm on the receiving end of the Kent Austin throw.
We've had 3 momentum changes in about the last 4 minutes. You know, the Riders scored to get momentum. The Ticats took it away. But the first play, we talked about Fairholm in the opening, that if he catches that football with his speed, it is over. And he showed no doubt. That was great concentration. It was never in doubt after he caught it.
David Ridgway again cuts the deficit to 5 points. Celebrates the Jeff Fairholm touchdown. Let's take another look at it.
Give him time. He's going to go deep with it. He gets that safety out of the middle. One-on-one coverage. We talk about his speed, but what concentration. Stephen Jordan had a hold of him, couldn't slow him down, and once he got behind him, just go ahead and run home with it, Jeff. It's an easy little jog. Look at that concentration. You saw Stephen Jordan trying to grab him.
There was the flame. There you could see him in all his glory from behind. So the Riders score, Ticats score, and then Kent Austin hits Jeff Fairholm with a 75-yard touchdown to put the Riders within 5 again in the second quarter. This might only mean something to a few people in the chat, but what if we got some CFL on CBC games after, 2026 again? I think it'd be cool.
I think whatever needs to happen to make TSN step up their game a little bit is what should happen. So a little bit of competition I think would be great. Also, let's shout out those glass cutter gloves. I love seeing the Rider receivers with those glass cutters. They certainly helped Jeff Fairholm on that big play.
But of concern is the 517 they gave up, also a club record.
Oh, yeah, you have to be concerned about that. And right now, Saskatchewan's got to be concerned of getting that defense up in Kerrigan's face. Al Bruno's getting great job, an excellent job up front by that offensive line.
From the 38, it is 1st and 10 Hamilton. Kerrigan, a sideline pattern to Champion. He steps out of bounds, short of a first down.
Now, they usually line Champion up to the right. This time they put him to the left side of the formation on Wiggins. Saskatchewan's dropping into a zone, which means he'll go down and out. See, Wiggins is a long way off. He's got the deep responsibility. He cannot stop that pass in his own defense. It's not his responsibility. All he can do is come up and chase him out of bounds.
A wide open offensive display at the Skydome in this 1989 Grey Cup game. 2nd and about 2. Same type of play, and this time Champion breaks it. And each time he gets up after taking a hit such as he did there from Glenn Suter, He is very slow in getting back in his feet.
You can tell he's hurting, and he's still out there giving it his all. I think even at this point, if nothing else happened, what a performance full of heart and grit from Tony Champion in this game.
I tell you, if I was more than a 4-year-old sitting at my parents' house, if I was a grown adult, I would, regardless of me being a Rider fan or not, Tony Champion would have probably been my favorite player, just seeing how gutsy he was in this game.
And what a great jersey purchase. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Although, there's no first down line on the screen. What's going on there, Sheldon?
That's true. It hurts. It's not good for my old people like me who need to see where they need to go.
McAdoo is a heck of a running back, and he's taking hits in this one.
He is, but all I can think about is Stephen McAdoo.
I don't think you're alone.
But today, look at this. A good job. You see Jason Riley help the center, and then when the center has him alone, he comes off on the linebacker, and that's where McAdoo ran, right between them. A good job up front.
He's had 10 carries for 53 yards so far. Kerrigan throwing for Estelle too high.
Saskatchewan's been mixing up the defenses now. They're trying to give him a different look all the time. They went back to the Glenn Suter blitz from the outside. They hurried his throw, and he had to throw it too high for Estelle to catch it.
I talked about the Hamilton Tiger Cats' offensive and defensive performance this year. While the Saskatchewan Roughriders had the second-best offensive production, they also had the league's second-worst defense as far as yielding points is concerned. Rocky DiPietro steps out of bounds with a Hamilton first down at the 13-yard line.
Send Wally Zutilny straight up the field, clear out the area. Zone defense, Rocky DiPietro turns to the outside. Kerrigan finds him. They work very well together. They work a lot. Comes in like he's going to block. Now when he turns outside, zone defense, he just keeps running. Richie Hall sets in there in case something's coming back inside, but the open area, Kerrigan found it.
First and 10, the ball is at the 13, 3:24, the time remaining in the half. McAdoo following a couple of lead blocks, breaks the tackle. He'll be close to another first down as he got to the 5, maybe even the 4.5-yard line.
Don, you talk about McAdoo's running ability, and we're seeing more today than we've seen a while ago. That man, Dave Allwright, does not miss very many tackles, and he had McAdoo, and he stepped right out of the grass.
They rule that he touched at the 5, so it will be 2nd and 2.
You see Albright coming around to make the block. He got a hold of it. He stepped right out of it. A good job of running by Derek McAdoo.
3 minutes, the time remaining in the half. Hamilton leads by 5. This is Foster's Grey Cup on CBC.
So if you're new to the CFL, we do not do a 2-minute warning. We do a 3-minute warning. And also the clock actually does slow down, so you can do so much inside of 3 minutes. It might be tough to follow along with that if there's no clock on the TV. But yeah, it does slow down inside the 3 minutes. A shout out to Rocky DiPietro of the Ticats here, a Hall of Famer in 1997. He does have a Grey Cup championship under his belt. He retired in 1991. Man, he when he retired, he led the Ticats in most career receptions and yards. So yeah, Rocky DiPietro, quite the career for the Ticats as the Ticats extend. Did they signal a touchdown? Who are those guys? I think the Ticats may have just extended their lead in this 1989 Grey Cup, as it has certainly become a back and forth game.
I am behind, so I can tell you that's Ben Mulrooney and some other political figures in the crowd there.
There we go. Clear touchdown. And here's Ozzie.
Paul Osbaldiston with the point after, and again the Ticats lead by 12. 42 points already, and we're not even halfway home.
I'll tell you, you get down close, you got to get down as low and just start blocking hard. Look at him. Once he decides where he's going, get the head and shoulders, get behind those shoulder pads down low, and drive for the goal line.
Well, I think the over-under line for this ball game was 47 points. That's going to be blown to smithereens today.
Maybe by the first half.
McAdoo, 13 carries for 64 yards. He also contributed a 30-yard touchdown on a pass from Mike Kerrigan. 27-15, the Ticats in front. Paul Osbaldiston got them started with a pair of field goals from 42 and 38 yards. Mark Nye on this kickoff return. He started at the 10-yard line. He has speed. Out to the 47, stopped there by Donahue Grant.
2:24 left, second quarter, Don. Austin would love to see 7 more on the board and go in trailing by 5.
We're inside 3 minutes here, coming up on halftime in this game. Sheldon, your wife Tammy has some trivia questions coming up at halftime for those in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, it looks like it. She's got some questions and going to give away a prize from our store, I think. So look forward to that at halftime coming up here.
Wow, okay. Can I win?
I don't know.
We got to figure out those rules and regs before half.
Yeah.
Down to the 5-yard line that led to the Elgard touchdown.
Going to test Winfield, but when that ball's in the air, Hamilton's defense has improved a whole lot since Rockford went in the middle, and that's what he's supposed to do: get to the football and hit somebody when they come in the middle.
Second and 10. Austin over the middle. Ellingson makes the catch at the 50. First down, Saskatchewan.
You throw that ball, release those receivers downfield. We say you must throw downfield on Hamilton because they play man-to-man. And then when Ellingson turns to the inside, he's underneath Rockford, and there's nothing he can do about it. You see Giftopoulos jump, but look at this. He's underneath, catch is made. There's Jordan, and here it comes. Well, we won't see him, but Rockford got there.
Austin completes the pass to Narcisse, short of a first down. He'll be knocked down at the 45, but I think they'll rule his forward progress carried through to the 43-yard line. What a wide-open offensive display we have been treated to today. Saskatchewan has scored on its last 2 possessions. Hamilton has scored on 4 of its last 5 possessions. Second down play. Austin gets the first down with Ray Elgard. 1:48 the time left in the half. 27-15. The Ticats lead.
Down and out. All coaches will tell you, throw that ball down and out. Sprint to your right. Buy some time. Throw it outside to your good clutch receiver, Elgard. He's got to step on the defender, clear out the area with Narcisse, and let him get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Ellingson in the ball game in place of Jeff Fairholm, who scored that 75-yard touchdown. First and 10 from the 34-yard line. Austin going to the end zone. Knocked away by Jim Rockford, intended for Narcisse.
Well, you know, we keep talking about it, Don, but that's what he's there for. He had Earl Winfield beaten, and when that ball is in the air, Rockford can go a long way.
He came very close to being knocked out of bounds or running out of bounds, and you see Jim Rockford, who is playing that safety position again after shifting for a few series to the cornerback spot, replacing the injured Lance Shields. Winfield is out there now. Rockford back at his more familiar safety position.
And I think Rockford's still hurting a little bit too. He's keeping that right arm right down at his side.
Second and 10, and Ellingson, the Duke, has a first down.
Well, what's nice there, Don, what they're doing to Rockford or try to do is send Elgard straight down the field. That makes Rockford go deep. When he gets deep, Ellingson cuts right in underneath it, and there's nobody there to help out on it. Good throw by Austin. So you see Rockford, but he's back too deep to where he can get up there and knock it down.
First and 10, Saskatchewan from the 16. 1:20 remaining in the half. Austin throwing for Ellingson. First down inside the 5.
You know, Don, half the time, I'm not sure there's any defenses out there. That ball's just going up and down the field. This is a great offensive display in this second quarter by both teams. See Austin sprint to his left. See Ellingson start in. That's that pattern Fairholm ran a while ago. Start to the inside, then come on right back outside on that one-on-one coverage. And Gordon has to run a long way to make the tackle.
First and goal, Saskatchewan. Austin will put it up again. Narcisse! Did he get in?
It's got to be a touchdown. If they don't give him a touchdown, I'm not going to believe it. You betcha it was. We're going to get a look at the replays in a little bit.
It looks like yet another score from the Are we at 4 or 5 consecutive drives with a touchdown in this game? 4? Man, this is awesome to watch. You saw Corbin get in Narcisse's face and bat the ball out of his hands after that touchdown. Yet another flag today.
Oh yeah, that might even be an ejection today.
I love seeing that stuff. Lots of comments about the turf in this one. Now, when they have the really wide shots, I'm not convinced that the lines are straight.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, you could have a moment where on one side of the field it's a first down, and then on the other side it's not. Oh, it's so fun reliving this 1989 Grey Cup.
One-on-one. Drive him outside. Now turn inside. Come to the football. Catches it. Feeder in the end zone. No problem. What a heck of a show we're getting.
Well, there's no question the Riders are attempting to exploit the inexperience of Winfield, who has moved into that corner position. There you see the S that Donald Narcisse has cut into the side of his hairdo, and the number 80 on the back that we talked about earlier. But Kent Austin has been working on that left corner position of the Ticats after Lance Shields went up.
You got to do that, boy. I'll tell you, anytime you get a starter out of a ball game, you go to the replacement. They tried Rockford there, but they were getting hurt inside. They feel they're better with Winfield as an athlete and keep Rockford at home in the middle to help out deep.
Wally Zatilny will return this David Ridgway kickoff. Steve Wiggins finally brings him down at the 32, a run back of just 10 yards, and he ran a long way to get 10.
Wiggins missed him the first time. He thought, if I just wait a second, he'll come back. Sure enough, he did, and they got him down with 33 seconds left.
200 passing yards already for Mike Kerrigan. Remember, these two teams hooked up in a wild game on August the 18th, won by the Ticats 46-40 at Ivor Wynne Stadium. This could be bad news for the Ticats. Derek McAdoo is down, although as Ray Jones hustles out onto the field, he indicates he's okay.
Ray Jones is going to tell him, if you're hurt, stay down. If you're not, I don't want to run all the way out there for nothing.
Louts will replace Derek McAdoo.
Ray Jones, if he says, if you want some treatment, you better come to the sideline and get it. 33 seconds left into the first half. Rocking those Ticat suspenders. I feel like
that's a look.
Suspenders should come back.
Let's do it. Let's bring him back.
Gainers rocking away. Here we go. The end of the first half.
1990 season for Hamilton. Sam Laux at the moment replacing Derek McAdoo, who must go out for at least one play. There's the draw. Jed Tommy will get 5, not much more. Stopped by Richie Hall. 29 seconds, the time remaining.
Send Laux in motion, try to get that linebacker to loosen up, which he did, and then come back with the draw.
If Margaret Mead saw this, the famed anthropologist might launch another expedition. First down, Hamilton. Rocky DiPietro. He tried to pitch it out. He loses the ball. Saskatchewan. Vince Goldsmith has it. 1 second left in the half.
Well, that's a big mistake when you get close to the half. He had the first down. If they were going to try to score, they would have thrown on first down. All they was trying to do is get the half over. You see the zone defense. They drop it out of there, not taking any chances. DiPietro makes the catch. Wiggins makes the tackle. Right here, he thinks he can lateral the football, but what's coming in from the left of the screen? There it is. Glenn Suter knocks it away, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are going to get to kick a field goal with 1 second on the clock.
Those turnovers late in the half, never good. You saw Glenn Suter there kind of get juked out of his shorts by DiPietro and then recovers and ends up getting the strip and the ball for the Riders late in the half. That's a big play from number 27.
Yeah, and huge to be able to get this opportunity to get a field goal right at the end of the half here.
49-yard try. Al Bruno has called a timeout, giving Ridgway just a little more time to think about this kick. And maybe for his team to plot what strategy they will employ and perhaps trying to block it.
John Gregory is going to call him over and say, make it. I don't know what else you'd say to Ridgway. They know this. If they miss it, he's going to run it out. They're going to try to run it out. So what he's saying is that tell them to cover. Block first, but cover. In case it's rolling around, may be forced to give up one. Because if he can get it out of there with 1 second, it's coming out.
The ball will be spotted at the 50-yard line. The Grey Cup record is 52 yards. This is going to fall short, and Zatilny will run it out. And that will end the first half as Zatilny is taken out of bounds. And what a wild, entertaining first half we have been witness to at the Skydome.
I was a little surprised. I knew we were going to get a high-scoring game. I thought it might start a little slow. Think back, Don, we talked about Hamilton taking the ball to start the football game. We said we wanted their offense on there to get things rolling. The Ticat offense come out and started fast with 13 points. It took Saskatchewan to the second quarter to get on track.
Well, we didn't get a touchdown until late in the first quarter, only 15 seconds remaining, and it was 13-1 Hamilton at the end of one quarter. At halftime, it is 27-22 Hamilton. Let's now join Steve Armitage.
Thank you, Don. The head coach of the Hamilton Ticats with me now, Al Bruno. Al, you promised a wide-open, high-scoring, entertaining...
Steve Armitage still doing it as the Ticats take a 27-22 lead into halftime of the 1989 Grey Cup. That's Al Bruno getting interviewed right there, the Ticats head coach. Now, we're at halftime. I'm just wondering if this is something that we should do periodically during the off season. I don't know. I'm having fun. Time is flying during this Grey Cup rewatch. So if you do like it, I don't know. Do you already subscribe to the YouTube channel? That would be really helpful and really cool. If you did that. Janice is looking for some doing out karaoke at halftime.
Janice?
What would you sing, Sheldon?
I don't even know. I'm not good at singing like this. I need some liquid courage that I don't have currently.
So I think I think that Janice said the Flame was doing a thing at halftime with Dave Ash. Is that correct? Because there is a stage in the middle, but not like now where it would go to commercials for 5 minutes and come back and the stage is set up and it's this whole giant production. We got Matt Dunnigan there, maybe his first day as a broadcaster while he's still in his playing career. He's still on the panel with TSN. Man, yeah, and Craig says, yeah, they should have cut Ridgeway at halftime there. Yeah, that's a tough miss. That was some much needed momentum there that the Riders couldn't quite get. Janice was working in Edmonton that game. Oh, no, you had to work? Okay, anyway. Trivia, what's happening? Is Tammy going to be in the chat? Do we even know we're live, and I didn't know this was going to happen.
We're live. Is Tammy ready for chat or trivia? Tammy just posted. Okay.
Oh.
So it's in the comments.
A t-shirt?
There you go. Okay.
Where's this t-shirt
Take it
coming
away,
from?
Tammy. I think I'm buying the t-shirt from the store.
Okay. How many questions? What do we? One question?
Well,
Matt Damon says he was named after Matt Dunnigan. Is that true?
I think he was named after Jason Bourne.
Like I say, if they show Mike some things and then drop off into zone coverages, I think they'll be successful in the second half.
Which team won the most Grey Cups in the 80s?
Oh, look at all these answers.
There you go.
That's right. I noticed that in Harry Skipper. Now he's
Edmonton won the first three, right? Or is it two?
It looks like it's Edmonton, so Trina was the first to say Edmonton. Trina's gets the points.
When they won the 87 Grey Cup, you'll know at the beginning of this broadcast, they called that game the greatest game ever played, which I thought was pretty funny because now a lot of times this game is looked at as the greatest game ever played.
Boy, this is exciting football. I don't think I've ever seen a Grey Cup.
All right, so I guess time for question number 2.
It's exciting for an awful lot of people, but I'll tell you, it wasn't for the arguments.
We are in the process of writing out question number 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Who was the CFL's most outstanding player in 81? Uh-oh. Trina could be winning again here. Trina's got those fast fingers.
So, Tammy has 20 questions? There's
20
Darth
questions.
Vader's on the field at halftime with the cheerleaders in the background. We should do this now. Is that what I was seeing?
Grey Cup game record.
It looks like it.
Most points in the Grey Cup, 77 in 1956, as Edmonton beat Montreal 50-27.
Which team ended Edmonton's 5-year Grey Cup winning streak?
Chalked up on the board here at the Skydome. I can't recall such a wide-open football game, regular season, playoff, or Grey Cup.
It doesn't matter. The ball's just moved up and down the field. And the strange part, Don, think back to the first quarter statistics. Only 2 first downs for Saskatchewan. They only had the ball 4 minutes. Hamilton's in complete control. But boy, did they come to life in the second quarter.
Almost 500 passing yards so far by the new quarterbacks.
Buddy.
Let's check their statistics.
So he says the answer to what Sheldon does to people at bus stops. Moon.
I have never pulled a John Cornish at a bus stop, okay? Never.
Oh, this live thing, I could get used to this.
Yeah, me too. Turf District knows where it's at to do this.
I love this. Edmonton's the one that ended their own streak because they lost.
Who was the head coach of the BC Lions when they won in 85?
Whoa.
We'll
Star Wars lightsaber fight on the field. Now that is a halftime show.
I agree. Not quite flying snowmobiles, but pretty close.
Yeah. If you could get Jedis on snowmobiles, that would top it.
Yeah, that would top it. You're right.
With Earl Winfield, the injury position. Look at the throw. right inside of him. He catches the ball, gets the feet down for the touchdown.
So Austin, John Cornish mooned the Rough Riders fans, specifically the East Side fans, after I can't remember if he had a good day or a bad day, but he definitely mooned the crowd, and that's what happened.
So were you on the East Side when this happened?
Yeah, but like we were in section 27, so we were like closer to the end zone. We weren't near the bench where he actually did it, but yeah.
Wow.
We'll return in a moment.
Do we know who's in the lead?
We don't. I think we're gonna Tammy, and she'll add up all the points at the end or something here, I think.
Okay.
Which legendary quarterback won the most outstanding player award in 83 and 87? I wasn't quarterback. I wasn't a fan at this time, so I don't know any of these questions.
Janice says, wasn't Wally coaching BC from 1920 to 2016?
And he was on the field the entire time.
Really confident coming out in the second half that they can do it again.
Yes, we also note that Saskatchewan trailed at the half of the Western Final.
What year did the Riders win their second Grey Cup after a 23-year drought? Oh. No spoilers. No spoilers. We apologize about that.
So, who was the coach of the 85 BC Lions?
Who was the coach of the BC Lions, sweetheart? In 85. It was Don Matthews, so Brian Galloway won the points there.
And who was the MOP in 83 and 87?
Tammy, MOP in 83 and 87? Is it Dunnigan?
Oh, I think it was an Argo.
Dunnigan.
Oh, it was Dunnigan. All right.
Dunnigan, so Brian again with points.
All right.
Scott, everyone expected a wide-open offensive display, but I don't think expectations were quite this high.
I don't think anybody
let's do one more question.
I kind of thought everybody figured
Yeah.
the defenses would have a little bit to say about
Last
it,
signal
but
says
right
it was
now,
Jackie
the
Parker.
offenses are controlling the football game.
Jackie.
We are 13 yards away.
Oh,
We're
we're back. We're back.
Kickoff returns.
Okay, we are back.
We got one more question.
Yep, one more question, sweetheart. Coming right away.
All right, keep a look on the chat, and the second half is starting. There is the stats in this one.
260 net yards for Hamilton.
That was the best halftime show, Tammy's trivia.
Saskatchewan, as we said at the half,
I loved it. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy.
I think they should a little bit. This should be the draw play to Milson Jones. When you send Tim McCray in motion to the wide side of the field, they like to come with a draw to Milson Jones. But the biggest thing I noticed is number 28, Lance Shields, is back on the corner for Hamilton. And if he can go, it's going to really help that secondary of the Ticats.
Further to that record I mentioned, the teams have combined for 250 kickoff return yards in the first half. Guy had 31, so that is now 281 kickoff return yards, a Grey Cup record. 2nd and 7. Austin throws complete to McCray. He'll get a first down, taken out of bounds by Gordon.
2nd down and short. When you see that wide receiver, when you see the wide receiver come in motion from the outside, we're going to see it from the high. You can't really get a good look at it, but what they do is run Tim McCray out behind it. It's almost like a pick play. The linebacker can't get there to cover him.
Lance Shields has returned, as Ron pointed out, to play that corner. Saskatchewan might attempt to find out just how healthy he is.
Oh, you got to find out if he can move.
Milson Jones drives ahead inside the 50-yard line. Frank Robinson was there to make the tackle.
Once again, on first down, that's 2 straight first downs. They've tried to run the football, so they are trying to establish that running game. And again, it's just a draw play to Milson Jones.
The lone member of the Rough Riders who has experienced Grey Cup success. That was with the Edmonton Eskimos. 2nd and 5. Austin looks over the middle. Elgard's got it.
If you give the quarterback time, they drop the linebackers out that time to a zone. If Austin has time to look around, Elgard will find a hole. And that's exactly what he did. He moves to the outside. Elgard comes down and he'll run the hook. And he keeps sliding. He slides inside to get away from Daryl Corbin.
1st and 10 Saskatchewan. The ball is at the Hamilton 38-yard line. Incomplete. McCray got tangled up with the linebacker, Peter Giftopoulos.
Took a little bit too long to get away from him. What they wanted is isolation. McCray on Giftopoulos. Giftopoulos actually tackled him.
It drew a penalty flag, and it is going to be a call against the Ticats.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 90. First out.
That's what we wanted to see coming into the game, Don. How will they handle McCray coming out of the backfield one-on-one? See, he's wanted to throw it a lot earlier. He was forced to hold it because Giftopoulos grabbed McCray, so he had to take the hit.
Deep throw for Guy. Incomplete. Lewis was defending against Guy as Kent Austin attempted to put it into the end zone.
Guy did make the right move, too. When that ball's in the air, he saw it underthrown. He tried to cut back under Will Lewis and get it. He just couldn't get there.
Something that Saskatchewan has been doing with quarterback Kent Austin through the first half and in the second. They're moving that pocket around.
That defensive line of Hamilton, they'll know where you are if you drop back every time. Sometimes it helps you. You get outside, buy a little bit of time.
McCray taken out of bounds by Corbin. He'll have a gain of 2 yards, but on 3rd and 7, the Riders send out the field goal unit.
What they do is clear out the right side of the Hamilton defense and then bring Tim McCray underneath one-on-one with a linebacker, force Daryl Corbin to run with him. They got the ball to him, but he couldn't get turned upfield to get the first down.
In that second quarter, these teams scored 35 points. 21 by Saskatchewan, 14 Hamilton. Grey Cup record for points in the quarter, 27. Winnipeg scored that against Hamilton in 1984 in a 47-7 win. That ball hit the upright but went between them. It deflected off the upright and fell over the bar between the posts. This is Foster's...
Did you hear those horns right before he...
There's an old expression that you have to be good to be lucky.
I thought Alouette fans were annoying.
Certainly smiled on Dave Ridgway on that field goal attempt.
The robo-kicker making it good, so the Riders trail by 2 in the third quarter of the 1989 Grey Cup. Do we have a winner in trivia yet, or no?
Just figuring that out. We're going to have it when we come back next.
Okay.
Linebackers who told me they spent a lot of halftime talking about how to counter Mike Kerrigan's quick release. They say their gambling blitzing days may well be over here. Don't be surprised if they go back to their conventional defense they played for most of the season.
Well, it was that gambling defense that carried them to victory over the Edmonton Eskimos in the Western Final last Sunday. Kerrigan does have that quick release. One of the prime reasons that Al Bruno decided to start him, anticipating the same type of defensive performance from Saskatchewan. McAdoo stopped at the 35-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards. It will be 2nd and 8, Hamilton.
The big thing that what Scott says, it'll at least force Mike Kerrigan to work the ball downfield by picking up 5, 6, 7. He won't get the big plays.
So I'm enjoying seeing the ads. I mean, we see that Taste Diet 7-Up on the sideline, but a lot of memories of Foster's coming up here. Now, is it the same beer as the Australian beer? Because I do believe Jake in the chat, aren't you from down under? Are we still doing the Fosters anywhere? Can you get that in Canada?
Really can't do it. He's already lined up inside, and he's going to be about a step behind. And if you throw the ball on target as Kerrigan did, you're going to get the completion.
They say Foster's was a fad in the 80s. Not a good beer, says says Stu. I don't know if you can get it anymore.
I'm not sure if you can either, but I tried it once when I was like 19 and just fresh. I didn't drink other than one time before I was legal, and I don't know why, but my first beer that I actually went and bought in the store was a Foster's, and I tried it, and it was disgusting.
And you thought all beer was like that?
Yeah. Well, it was Australian for beer. So we do have a winner. Trina is the winner of the trivia, the halftime trivia. So, Trina, our people will talk to your people, and we'll figure it out.
Congratulations, Trina, as we see another big catch from number 87, Tony Champion.
Figuring they're going to throw it underneath. All of a sudden, as he stops, he just lays it outside. And then Champion goes and gets it. See, Skipper's looking inside of Estelle and allows him to go by him. Now, Suter has to come too far. You can't ask him to get that far out and make the play.
30 yards for Tony Champion. He has scored a Hamilton touchdown. It is 1st and 10, the Ticats at the Rider 38-yard line. The pitch to McAdoo, following the block of Jed Tommy. And now Wally's at Tilney, and he'll pick up 5 yards. David Albright, the middle linebacker, came over to make the tackle.
Glenn Suter's been lined up all over the field. Right now, though, all he's trying to do now is confuse Kerrigan. He moves all around, but he's lining up back in the middle, and he's going to be the first man to support the run. When they turn it inside, he should be there.
He celebrated a birthday on Thursday, matching his uniform number. His teammates responded by taping him to the goalpost here at the Skydome. McAdoo couldn't hang on to that throw, and he's upset with himself, and well, he should be.
And Mike Kerrigan knows this. If you go to the zone defense, when your backfield people check out of the backfield underneath, you just keep throwing it to them until they stop it. And they throw it to McAdoo, and he took his eyes off of it and dropped the football.
8:26 is the time remaining in the third quarter. This will be a 40-yard field goal attempt by Paul Osbaldiston. He's hit from 42 and 38 and now 40 yards. And again, the Ticats enjoy a 5-point lead. 8:11 is the time remaining in the third quarter here at the Skydome. The Ticats lead by 5 with 8:11 remaining in the third quarter. And Foster's Lager in the Canadian Football League will honor the 77th Grey Cup's most valuable offensive, defensive, and Canadian players as Foster Grey Cup MVPs. Each of the MVPs will receive a handsome Eskimo sculpture provided by Molson Breweries. In addition, they will receive a wall clock courtesy of Heartwood Woodworking and Design Company, and from Pentax, a state-of-the-art Pentax camcorder.
Did you see those prizes for the MVPs, including a wall clock and a camcorder?
That's pretty. It's pretty intense. It's better than, a little tiny little participation trophy that they have this year.
They should give away like what would be the equivalent now?
I remember like 10 years ago they would give away like a 2-year lease to like a van or a car or something. Or no, wasn't that Stiegel got the van or something, the 2-year lease? But that's the thing though. Back in the day, there was sponsorships. There was big time sponsorships, and so that's something that the CFL obviously continues to need to work on and trying to get as much sponsorships as they can. Like back in the day, the Wendy's Kick for $1 million, stuff like that. Like they need to bring stuff like that back so that not only put some more money in the CFL, but just us fans love seeing stuff like that. Who didn't love seeing him hit that 50-yard field goal or 55-yard or whatever it was to get $1 million?
Wow, and that aerial view with the helmets like top to top, LCF, CFL, I'm loving this.
Listen to this statistic.
It's a good idea.
Of its last 8 possessions. Saskatchewan has scored on 4 of its last 5 possessions.
That's the way that second quarter was unbelievable. This quarter started out with 2 field goals, but I think they're just warming up again. They want to see what adjustments were made at the half.
That's one adjustment the Ticats made. They sent Corbin after Austin.
Well, we talked in the opening about Darryl Corbin. Daryl Corbin is a tremendous outside linebacker today. He'll be in the middle. He'll be a defensive end. What they're trying to do is get those mismatches. You see him stepping up in there, coming around the corner. Milson Jones doesn't block him. He misses him. And as Austin tries to scramble, Corbin makes the hit.
That's something unusual for Milson Jones to miss a block. He's one of the better blocking fullbacks in the league.
He sure is, but it's a little bit of a mismatch. He's not quite as tall as Corbin, and Corbin gets that head of speed up, head of steam. You can't slow him down that fast.
Milson is more of a finesse blocker rather than a power blocker. Baker trying to angle it out of bounds. What a beautiful kick at the 3-yard line. You know, he's been criticized at various times.
What a beautiful punt. It doesn't get much better than that. There was a question. I think that was the camera guy in the rafters. I don't think there was a spider cam in 1989. And if you were scared, that was not a job if you were not a fan of heights. That would actually be, I don't think I could do it.
No. That roof, not only like is it you're high in that stadium, but that roof just is like so much higher. Like when in the next couple weeks or few weeks, Elimination Chamber is going to be in there, and just the amount of chains they're going to need just to suspend the thing down that low is just crazy.
Oh yeah. Wow, and the Ticats nearly turned it over inside their 5-yard
block
line.
by Jed Tommy to get into the backfield, and the ball bounced free. Very fortunate to get it back. Well, you see the linebackers trying to come across to get in on the play. The play's taking place on the other side, but the ball bounces around and they do get it back.
2nd and 10 from the 3-yard line. Kerrigan going for it all with Satilny. He can't catch up with it.
Well, we said that going into the football game, Harry Skipper was going to have a big game. He's a gambler, and so far his gambling has hurt him. The only thing that saved it there, the overthrow, because Satilny had him again.
5:15 remains in the 3rd quarter. Saskatchewan will get the ball back, most likely on the Hamilton side of midfield, unless Paul Osbaldiston can launch what would perhaps be a career punt from the end zone.
Paul Osbaldiston's about a 41-yard kicker. That should be about his average, and if he's going to kick is better than he has, he's already at 47, but he would really have to hit this one.
He's standing 11 yards deep in the end zone, a high snap. He's going to give up the safety touch with Steve Wiggins on top of him. And now Hamilton will kick off. So 4:54 remains in the 3rd quarter. This is Foster's Grey Cup on CBC. With that,
he was thinking about going, wasn't he?
Three-point game.
It looked like it. Yeah, it really did look like it.
Ticats giving up 2 points as the Riders are now within 3 over halfway through the 3rd quarter of the '89 Grey Cup.
McRae is stopped at the 33. And that's where Saskatchewan will scrimmage 1st and 10. 55,000 spectators at the Skydome in Toronto. And that's the view from one of the seats way up in level 5. That may be the absolute highest seat under the roof.
You know, you get a heck of a view from up there. You'll see that, well, it is that Skydome camera is what you're seeing, because you're going to look right down on top of it.
About 250 feet up. Tim McRae hit at the 35-yard line and thrown back. That will be a gain of about 2 yards. Now, just prior to that safety touch, you may recall seeing Paul Osbaldiston talking with Al Bruno at the Hamilton bench. Do you suppose, Ron, they were at all discussing the conceding of a safety touch?
I wouldn't think that this give it up. I think be careful if there's any question, give it up. I could see that, but I don't think they tried to look like the high snap. He changed his mind and didn't kick it.
2nd and 8. Lorenz tried to get there. He couldn't, but the pass is completed. And Narcisse is heading for the end zone.
Narco put the absolute burners on, but did you see Bud Steen put on the burners running? Bud Steen had he could have started, I think, on a team or two.
I bet that guy, he had hops. He's got hops.
No, the way that they were talking, like, no, there's no way that Ticats. Could you imagine going for it in that situation? No, there's no way.
I can't. I'm sure that they did plan to take the safety there. Like, just with the way that the offense
There was the high snap,
especially the Riders. Yeah, true. But just the way that the Riders' offense has been playing, like, you can't. They wouldn't have giving them the ball at the 50 is like just that would have been a risky point there.
Although giving up the safety is a trend that I think has kind of gone away in the last couple seasons.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. But again, I think that's just because, Ron Lancaster was saying that Osbaldiston is a 41-yard kicker, and now, kickers are averaging 50, 55, 60 yards sometimes. So.
There's an injured ball player down there on Hamilton. I don't know who it is.
It's Corbin who is hurt. And that obviously took place as the result of the tackle he made on Donald Narcisse.
Daryl Corbin, 6'2", 225 pounds. Excellent speed. Just excellent. Very well built. Big shoulders. Got sprinter's legs, and he can run.
He and Daryl Patterson have played that middle linebacking spot for the Ticats throughout the year. They feel that Corbin is stronger against the run.
Daryl Patterson played when Corbin got hurt in a preseason game out in Winnipeg, I believe, and he was off the roster, so they had to move Daryl Patterson inside. But as you're right, he's very much the physical of the two, and he's better against the run.
You can see the shakiness as they pan with the camera, and I'd be shaky too. But yeah, was it Bill? Or no, Brian. Great point in the chat. Ooh, it looks like they got an interference there as Ray Elgard was the intended receiver for the Riders. Double coverage by the Cats. Yeah, there you go. Confirmed pass interference to the goal line for the Rough Riders as they trail by 3 here. But yeah, some poor cameraman had to climb up to the very top row of the Skydome for the one shot that they're going to use once. That poor guy.
Well, we saw that at WrestleMania. There was
That's
right beside us that one shot that they only used once.
Ooh, we got a flag. Let's go to the game.
Offside Hamilton. The Riders are in front.
Offside. Hamilton. Touchdown.
Rider pride is alive and flourishing under the Skydome as Saskatchewan has moved in front, 33-30.
They just keep coming, they've come back, as we heard at halftime from Donnie Moen and Matt Dunnigan. We've talked about it the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been that way, so they know how to do it.
David Ridgway with the point after, and Saskatchewan enjoys a 4-point advantage with 2:51 remaining in this third quarter.
They try to get this ball into the end zone behind Roger Aldag and Ken Moore and Anderson. He's not going to get there, so he has to bounce back to the inside. Now, Corbin and Frank Robinson are there, but he breaks the plane of that last white line, and it's a touchdown. Start in behind them, and then run wherever you see daylight.
What do you call that blocking call for the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Man blocking. Man closest to you, fire out, knock him off the line of scrimmage, and allow a good running back like Tim McRae to find the hole and do the rest.
The leading all-purpose back in the Canadian Football League this year, over 1,000 yards as a runner, 75 pass receptions, and he also handles kickoff returns for Saskatchewan.
He does a little bit of everything. I've even seen him covering kickoffs for him this year when they had all the injury problems.
We said that the Grey Cup scoring record, 77 points, established in 1956. Edmonton 50-27 over Montreal. We've got 64 on the board with still better than a quarter remaining. Derek McAdoo returns the ball to the 35. Tim McRae, the man who put it in the end zone after that pass interference call against Sonny Gordon, working against Ray Elgar.
Brian Walling and Sean Daniels and Steve Rastovich and Larry Hogue on special teams today seem to be everywhere, and that time again it was Walling in on the hit.
64 total points is what Winnipeg and Hamilton scored. That was 1984. Whoa! Tony Champion takes that ball out of bounds. And fortunately for Champion, he's okay. He collided with one of the carts on the sideline. But it is well.
So if that's not insult to injury, we know Tony Champion's been playing through pain. And there he just runs into this cart that's a platform for the camera. And that's one of the hardest hits of the game.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, this is a blast.
Yeah.
Second and 4, and it is McAdoo.
How you doing with your snacks?
I'm good. I'm actually not that hungry anymore, so I haven't really been snacking that much.
These ketchup chips are just hitting the spot.
Yeah.
I just had an idea, like what if I crumbled them up and put them in my KD later? You got some texture going? They might mush up.
I am against ketchup in Kraft dinner, so no. No,
Why?
thank you. I don't know. I'm not a ketchup and Kraft dinner guy. Pepper, just a bunch of black pepper.
I do like it with ketchup and some hot sauce in there.
Hot sauce for sure. Also, gotta say hi to my little niece Lux, who's watching. We saw your comment. Love you, Lux.
I am not a birthday boy today. Or is there a different Travis?
But he hasn't messed around once that second quarter started.
Yeah, Tim, there's some great camera angles in this game. It's lots of fun.
Matt. Matt. Happy birthday, Travis, indeed.
Hey, let Matt be the first person to wish me a happy birthday because it's not until December. Or it's really late. I don't know. Oh, we got a holding call. But yeah, there's not very many flags in this one, and it's been a joy to watch.
Yeah, they've been letting them play, and you love to see that in the championship game.
Second down.
So when that play turns back in, Robinson's going right with the pulling lineman. He's there to make the hit.
Ken Moore, who had that penalty called against him, initially came into the Canadian Football League as a tight end. Then he switched to a fullback. He played defensive tackle, some linebacker, and now he's finally found a spot at offensive tackle. Mark Nye is open. Donald Narcisse made a catch for 52 yards. Mark Nye, the other wideout, makes one for another 52 yards.
Well, they've gone after him. They've tried to get Mark deep on Will Lewis. Last time he had good coverage. This time he got behind him. And again, Rockford had to come from the middle of the field to make the player. It was 7.
First and 10 from the 22 of Hamilton. This could be the final play of the third quarter. Out of the backfield, Tim McRae takes the throw inside the 10. And that's the final play of the third quarter in this most exciting 1989 Grey Cup game at the Skydome.
64 points scored in this 1989 Grey Cup so far. As we go into the fourth quarter, the Riders are up by 4 points. The crowd is electric. Man, this has been an absolute blast.
It has been. Just being able to reminisce and see these players, and
casual clothing and footwear.
A lot better than something else we could be watching tonight, I think.
The Riders, big play offense in this one. There's any of their touchdown drives are just major big plays going on.
Oh yeah. Just looking back at it now, it's like kind of shocking that they were really only able to get this one kick at the can with all the talent they had on this offense. But
I think for the 80s, like, Edmonton was so good for so long that any other... Well, but that's been a Saskatchewan thing. Like, even the good teams were 500 and that was it. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe the Regina water isn't the best. I don't know. How do you feel about the quality? Is it good or?
The Regina water's fine. Yeah, there's no problem with Regina water. I think you got to look back then though. Like, you see right now in the league, who has the worst stadium in the league? It's probably Calgary, and they have the worst turf until this year when they're getting replaced. And so, Taylor Field, it wasn't as bad as it was in 2013 in late 80s, but it certainly didn't have the amenities that other stadiums had, and it had a really rough turf. So, and just the fact that it was hard to get star players to come to Saskatchewan. After this regime kind of went, it took until Roy Shivers came back to be able to get some players to come here. So that's just kind of been what it's been like to be a Rider fan. Just it's been tough, it's been a grind, but when certain things happen, it's magical.
I don't know if the official, did they get in the way of that route there with Jeff Fairholm in the end zone? It kind of looked like it. And there were some comments from that Bud Steen play earlier that maybe Narcisse was using him as a screen.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
I always think that's Gov, but I don't think it is Gov. But I always think it is.
To sit in the skybox of the Skydome with binoculars and getting service. Like, wow. All the big shots sitting up there. That's where Sheldon would be sitting. You know what? Like, that hotel, you're probably a mile away, but it would be pretty cool to stay there while the Jays are playing or whatever's going on.
Yeah, I've never actually been in the hotel, but I have watched a Jays game from the restaurant there in the field. And I thought it would be a lot cooler than it was. You don't hear anything inside. That's the problem. Like, you can't really hear the crowd cheer or anything like that. But it was interesting, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
21 first downs to 19. Total yards, 294 for Saskatchewan, 316 for Hamilton. And Hamilton still has the advantage in time of possession, but they trail by 7 points.
That's right.
Kerrigan for DPS, intercepted by Suter.
Kerrigan didn't throw this ball the way Kerrigan could throw. Watch, it's going to flutter on him. And that ball's fluttering. Glenn Suter, we talk about Rockford going to the ball when it's in the air. That's Suter's job also, and Suter gets there in a hurry, goes off, picks it off. Watch DiPietro. Now he's inside. Looks like he's open. But look at this. When that ball gets there, Suter gets there. The Riders have great field position again.
1st and 10 from the 52. There's the pitch to Eldar, and he's going to throw it. And this one will be intercepted. Will Lewis picks it off. And you can see that one coming because Elgard didn't get anywhere.
Glenn Suter with the interception, only for Ray Elgard. I guess, are we calling that a flea flicker?
I guess so.
Throws an interception on the very next series. Wow.
I was just going to say, like, it's momentum. Momentum is just a hell of a thing, and the Riders score the touchdown, and Suter gets the pick, and then you just give the ball right away, and then Al Ford is not happy.
Ooh, that could have been a nasty hit there. Maybe it was.
Wiggins and Suter.
Well, he really threw it into coverage that time, and Wiggins puts one heck of a hit on him.
This is the interception by Lewis. Quarterbacks with a strong arm would have difficulty throwing the ball as far as Elgard attempted.
For Mark Guy to catch that ball, it had to be thrown to about the 5-yard line. I mean, that's too far for quarterbacks. You can't ask Elgard to do that. Will Lewis just sat back there, and it looked like he saw it coming. He knew he couldn't throw it that far and made the interception.
12:29 remaining. It's 2nd and 10. Harrigan flushed out of the pocket, being pursued by Lewis. He's in big trouble. Klingbeil has got him.
In all the games we've done this year with Hamilton, Don,
what a big loss there. The Ticats had the opportunity to get that momentum back off that interception, but this doesn't help.
And it's just crazy seeing a game where like 3/4 of it is just the offense is going crazy, and then you have 3 like huge defensive plays in succession.
Yeah. And the Ticats looking to punt from their own end zone. Again, that time they didn't take the safety.
Third down punt out of the end zone,
He was lucky
taken
that
by Richie
Ford
Hall at
was.
the 47-yard line. He's tackled at the 42. 11:54 is the time remaining. 1st and 10, Saskatchewan on the sidelines. Let's join Scott O.
Don, Rider pride is obviously peaking here in the Skydome right now. Brian Hildebrand, a great game to watch, but one that I'm sure you wish you were playing in.
Well, that's the hardest thing I ever did, stand on the sidelines here and watching this, but the boys are doing a great job, and we're going to bring the cup home to Saskatchewan.
Feeling here is euphoric, higher than I've ever seen it in a Saskatchewan team.
Well, the feeling's great, but look around us. This is all Saskatchewan in here. Look at the green. It's great.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Don?
Thank you.
Klingbeil gets a quarterback sack for Saskatchewan. Grover Covington responds for Hamilton.
The defense is starting to come back. Got you the team that can get to the quarterback. We said it before, they're going to win the football game. That front 5 of Hamilton, they've got to bring 5. I don't think they can get there with 4. That time they got the pressure on Austin. He really could not throw the football.
You're not going to keep that man out of the backfield all afternoon.
No, he's too good a football player.
2nd and 19, Milson Jones upset at the 50-yard line. Corbin and Giftopoulos combined to bring down
Grover Covington. If we talk about legendary names in the CFL, he is certainly up there. When he retired, 157 career quarterback sacks. That remains the record, doesn't it? In the CFL, and he just had the sack there. So we haven't talked about the defensive players a lot in this one, but Grover Covington, what a career for the Ticats. He was all Eastern defensive end in 1981, and then 1985 to 1990. He was all Canadian in 85, 86, 88, and 89. And the year before this game, he was the Grey Cup's outstanding defensive player, the 1988 one. And he does have a Grey Cup title under his belt. He did go into the Hall of Fame in 2000 with James Murphy, Hugh Campbell, Danny Bass, and his son actually had quite the NFL career, came up to play for the BC Lions last year. Not, dominant like his dad, but I think Christian Covington wanted to play in the same league that his dad did.
Yeah, and then speaking of, family connections, we have another legend, Ron Lancaster. So he's doing color this game. He's already at the top. We said that he was, voted the best player in history up until that point. He also had a hell of a career as a head coach and a GM with Hamilton Tiger Cats as well. So he had like basically 3 Hall of Fame careers in one, because he's one of the best color guys I think that they've ever had too. And then now his grandson, current, offensive coordinator for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, there aren't very many guys that fan bases, 3 separate fan bases, have fond memories of Ron Lancaster. Edmonton, Hamilton, and Saskatchewan. That's pretty cool. One of the greatest legends that we've ever had come into the Canadian Football League. So my brother, it had to be in the 90s, working at a 7-Eleven in Lloydminster. And there's a 7-Eleven right along the highway. I don't know if they had to take the double lane all the way from Edmonton to Regina, but he stopped in and we bought a pack of smokes from my brother, and I think he was a bit starstruck that the little general came in and bought cigarettes at the 7-Eleven. That would be cool. I think a legend in CFL lore.
Yeah, and I bet you there's not too many starting quarterbacks in the CFL that are hacking darts anymore.
Well, he was coaching, I think, at that time. But,
yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But he probably did while he was playing.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure he did.
They promised him they'd give him the opportunity to show what he could do, and he has shown it all year, and he's been a great acquisition for him.
9:38 remains. 37-30. Saskatchewan leads Hamilton. Osbaldiston stands at his own 20-yard line for this third down kick. Another good kick by Osbaldiston. Richie Hall takes it at the 28. And he's down at the 37. On the kicks, the Ticats gain on field position. Al Bruno and John Gregory may be having some palpitations as the play swings back and forth, but the 54,088 spectators in the Skydome are certainly enjoying it. We hope you at home are as well as you look in on CBC television. 54,088 is a Skydome record for a sporting event.
Well, there's no doubt it's going to be a record with Saskatchewan here.
Well, a few years back, they were talking about a dome over
right.
Taylor Field. Austin was looking for Tim McRae. It will be 2nd and 10. If you're wondering about the Grey Cup record for attendance, that occurred in 1977 in Montreal, 68,318 at Olympic Stadium. And that game saw the Montreal Alouettes defeat the Edmonton Eskimos by a score of 41-6. A game that gained considerable recognition for the Alouettes using staples in their footwear so that they could get better traction on the icy artificial turf at the Olympic Stadium.
You see Ken Austin going down the field talking to Ray Elgart. What he's telling Elgart, when he comes off the line of scrimmage, he's got to see that inside linebacker. Frank Robinson blitz, number 43. He doesn't have anyone to block him. He's going to throw what they call a hot pattern. You look, I'll throw. Elgart never turned around.
Terry Baker will kick from his 23-yard line. Another fine punt by Baker.
I loved Don Whitman referencing, oh, that reverse on this. Oh, wow. Nice return by the Ticats as they look to get some momentum back, down by 7 late in this game. They referenced the Ice Bowl, that 77 Grey Cup? Yeah, in Montreal, where the turf was just a sheet of ice. And I guess, footwear and cleats and all that, they're not like they are now. so they put staples in their shoes. Montreal had the traction. Edmonton didn't. So they got crushed 41-6 in that Grey Cup. And you know what? There was a lot of chatter about which Grey Cup we should do the rewatch of here. And a couple of the suggestions were other ones that had terrible weather conditions. I guess, depending how you look at them. I was at that 2017 Grey Cup as the snow was just piling up on the field. The Shania Twain halftime show, the Argos and the Stampeders. But what a blast it was to be in the stands for that game. And a few hours before the game, weather was beautiful. It looked like it was going to be a great game, and then the snow starts coming, and that's that 96 Grey Cup in Hamilton, the Snow Bowl, Edmonton and Toronto. What another great game. That game got a lot of votes, and then another one, of course, the 1994 game between the Baltimore Football Club and the BC Lions. Yeah, I won't. That's another legendary game. Maybe we'll get to all these games eventually during these Grey Cup rewatches, but so much history to go through in this great game of ours.
Yeah.
First and 10. Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 34. Gary Lewis gets the quarterback sack.
Well, Don, we talked about that inside pressure. We got a good look at it that time. Kerrigan barely had time to set up and throw the football. And you look back there, he's going down. There it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step drop. Number 79 is there. He didn't allow him the time to plant the feet and throw it.
And after each play, you'll see the players look up at that video display board, 33 feet by 110 feet. And Gary Lewis obviously liked what he saw. Second and 16. The Kerrigan pass intended for Champion incomplete. He is protesting that he was interfered with.
Well, he might have a point. The main thing that happened is Skipper and Champion definitely got tangled up together, and Skipper ended up to be the one to go down on the ground.
Watch the screen.
Well, we'll get a good look at it right here. Al Bruno's questioning it also. Champion going deep on Skipper. Gives him a step. Trying to go by him now. Skipper definitely grabs him, but then he's the one that ends up falling down, and Al Bruno may have every right to complain.
Paul Osbaldiston with a field goal attempt of 47 yards. It's good.
I like how they didn't even bother trying to show the field goal. They were just following Al Bruno around. I did see a comment in the live chat that there's a little bit of Star Trek in Al Bruno, and I'd say there's a little bit of Leonard Nimoy, a little bit of Spock in there for sure.
Yeah, he could be from the Vulcan system. Yeah.
But here we go, the Ticats down 37-33 in the fourth quarter of the 1989 Grey Cup.
Waits for the block to form, and then runs it back to the 37-yard line. Sonny Gordon was there to make the tackle. On the sidelines, Al Bruno was expressing his opinion on the call to one of the officials while we were away, but the official saw no need for unsolicited advice.
And he wasn't telling him nice call either.
He was fortunate that he really didn't get a penalty.
Well, I know he has a legitimate complaint, but you really can't holler at him like that. They will get you. But he was right.
Austin with time looks for Fairholm, incomplete. 5:55 remains. 37-33 Saskatchewan leads.
That's the first time today they've missed that particular pattern. They bring that slot back, and now it's Fairholm again. He comes on like he's going to come to the inside, forces Sonny Gordon in, and then he swings right back out underneath it, and Austin just got it out a little too far.
Those gloves, many of the receivers and defensive backs wear are glass cutters gloves. James Ellingson has a first down for Saskatchewan.
You remember the last series of down, when Ray Elgar did not look on the blitz. Ellingson does. He's lined up at that slot back position, and when he looks to the inside, he sees that linebacker disappear. He looks right now, jumps inside of Stephen Jordan, makes the catch, first down.
And the Duke, as he is nicknamed, is in there in place of Ray Elgard at that slot back position. 1st and 10 from the 52. They fake the draw, now they throw to James Ellingson. He will get about 6 more. Stephen Jordan is there to make the tackle.
They start inside, they go back outside. This time he comes inside and keeps right on going. That kind of freezes Stephen Jordan. He's underneath. He'll make the catch. Jordan's with him. When that ball's caught, he's in good position to come up and make the hit, limit the gain to about 6 yards.
Stephen Jordan, CFL Rookie of the Year. He has a couple of snakes as pets, one of them a boa constrictor. One of the reasons he has problems trying to find a roommate. Don Narcisse with a catch for a first down at the 37.
Well, again, you don't throw it any better. Again.
There's the flame in all his glory with that helmet. Did they just say James Ellingson is having trouble finding a roommate because he's got a pet boa constrictor? Oh, I love the facts they're throwing in here.
Yeah.
Now, Lori Ann on the in the live chat says, leaving the Skydome after this game, there were entrepreneurs on the street that already had the final score printed on T-shirts, still warm from the press.
Right now, you take a look up at the clock and see 3:37.
Hopped right on the bus to head home. So Lori Ann, there was a 33-hour bus ride. So right after the game, you got on the bus and just went home? Oh, that would have been I think it's one way to ride 30 hours to get there, but the 30 hours back.
Well, as somebody who has done a bus trip to Disneyland from Regina.
What?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Was it like 50 hours?
No, I think it was 20. I think it was actually only 26, but
still.
yeah, like it wasn't quite. But it was we saved money. It was good. I like that we saved money, and it was an experience. It was definitely an experience.
So when you were like 4 hours in, were you like, I'm done?
Pretty much. Like, but then we just the worst part is we thought we were going to be able to sleep overnight, kind of, but there was a big blizzard going on in Utah, and the bus driver was going like 85 miles an hour down Utah, and it was kind of white knuckling a little bit, and there was no sleeping going on for us anyway.
Wow.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Less than 3 minutes to go. 37-33 Roughriders. Ray Elgard dealing with a dinged up knee. You saw him come out of the game. James Ellingson going into the game. So there are a few guys, and I saw Jacques Cartier say these players look like they're put together with toothpicks and tape, and I think they're all hurting at this point. Some maybe a little bit more than others, but we're closing in on the finish of this 1989 Grey Cup, with the Riders looking to put some more points on the board and extend that 4-point lead.
For Saskatchewan, Hamilton has only had 3 in the second half.
And when they changed that defense and went to the conservative one, make them earn it, they have had their problems.
1st and 10, handoff inside to Milson Jones. He tries to break free, but is prevented from doing so after a gain of about 3. 2:20 is the time left to play. 37-33, Saskatchewan in front. A brilliant performance by Saskatchewan quarterback Kent Austin this afternoon. Second and 7. Austin looks to the end zone. Mark Nye is out of bounds. Will Lewis was running with him.
That's the referee back there makes a proper call. They throw that ball deep into the end zone. Will Lewis goes to the football very well, but he wasn't pushed out of bounds. His momentum when he caught it put him out of bounds. Here comes the ball. Watch Will Lewis. Excellent catch. First thing that landed on the ground, it looked like he landed on the legs of Mark Guy when he had control of it.
From the 20-yard line, David Ridgway will attempt another field goal. And he puts it through. And Saskatchewan again leads by 7 with 1:58 left to play.
Great call by the refs there. He was bobbling that ball. If he would have been able to catch that, that would have been massive for Hamilton.
Huge.
And the Grey Cup, accompanied by 2 Mounties. That is what it's all about.
That was one of the most iconic pictures in sports in Canada.
In 1989, and they're 1:58 away from taking that cherished trophy back to Regina. Berrigan over the middle to Lee Knight. Could we have overtime? That possibility certainly exists. 1st and 10 Hamilton. They are at their own 53 with 1:50 left to play.
Going to go to the hurry-up offense. Force Saskatchewan to hurry. Allow them to save as much time as possible. A good block by Jed Tommy that time for Lee Knight.
Rocky DiPietro. A gain of 8. Al Bruno glances up at the clock. 1:42 the time remaining. His Ticats in a hurry-up offense. We'll look at that catch of DiPietro again.
Just down and out. Throw it low. If he doesn't get it, nobody does. Richie Hall had good position, and he got there to make the tackle.
The clock running. The handoff to McAdoo. He's got the first down and more. Vince Goldsmith finally stops him, and the clock is stopped at 1:32. But play will be whistled in as soon as the teams move up over the ball.
Got a Saskatchewan injury. That's why the clock is stopped.
Steve Crane, the injured Saskatchewan player. You know, we talked about the versatility of Ken Moore and the number of different positions he has played. Steve Crane.
Man, we've been on for almost 3 hours, and the amount of people that have been right from the beginning is actually incredible. So, David, I know you're in the live chat. You saying thank you to us, but thank you for being in here. This is so cool as we near the end of this game. John saying he was listening to this game on the CFN radio network on the Blue Water Bridge in Sarnia, coming back from a hockey tournament in Detroit. And we're nearing the end here as the Ticats look to tie this game up with the Roughriders. They've got the ball, and it's all on the line. The Grey Cup is on the sideline. Andrew is negative 2 years old. Terry was 9, watching at her family's farm north of Regina. Oh, this is cool. Let's get back to the game.
Kerrigan looking, incomplete, a penalty flag. Oh, hold it. A penalty flag.
No flag.
No flag.
He's really upset. Champion goes down, gives an inside move, tries to go outside of Skipper. The ball's going to be thrown. I think you got to call that now. That's twice Skipper has gotten away with it, and it's happening right in front of him. That's not a very good call. In a game like this, a championship game, 7-point difference down in the last minute, you got to call it.
I thought I saw a flag. Obviously not.
The jacket comes off for Al Bruno.
That's serious, man.
What are the live chat folks thinking of the call there? I mean, that's a flag every day of the week now.
But then he would have got a flag for taking his helmet off on this.
Right, he definitely would have. He definitely would have.
I'd say you got to call that there, yeah.
Yep. Fair call there. Critical point of the game.
Bruno protested earlier.
But they let it stand. No call.
Against Tony
They have been
Champion.
letting him play all game at least.
Yep.
He feels even stronger about that non-call on this most recent play. Skipper on Champion. 2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. 1:19 remaining. Kerrigan for Wingfield. This time there is a flag.
Winfield's facing back to the football. When Wiggins is coming that way, he must turn and look
Forward
for the
pass
ball.
interference. Saskatchewan number 24. First down.
He doesn't do it, and when Winfield goes to catch it, he'll run into him. We'll get a good look at it. Watch it. Winfield wants to catch. Wiggins he's just not going to allow him to get there. It's got to be called face guarding.
The ball is at the 12. 1st and 10. 1:13 the time remaining. McAdoo, the ball carrier. He gets inside the 10. A gain of 3. 1:08 is the time left to play. The Ticats trail by a converted touchdown. 40-33, Saskatchewan leads.
Okay, we'll go kickoff return, and we got to go hurry up offense.
1961, the only overtime game in Grey Cup history. Winnipeg defeating Hamilton 21-14 as Kenny Plain in overtime ran it in for the major score. 56 seconds remaining. Kerrigan is in trouble, gets away, throws, incomplete. Intended for Rocky DiPietro. Well, you fans in Regina certainly reacted positively to that one. Fans in Hamilton, not the same way.
Rocky run to the outside. Now when Kerrigan gets in trouble, he tries to come back in. Wiggins got a hold of him again. That's all she wrote.
48 seconds remaining. 3rd down. Hamilton into the end zone. Touchdown!
Tony Champion, man. Tony Champion with the adjustment, the injured ribs, brings the Ticats within 1 point in the 1989 Grey Cup with less than a minute to go. Talk about clutch. Unbelievable moment in history.
How were you feeling at this moment, Laurie?
A perfect look at that play. I can't believe he caught that ball. That's a great catch.
We are tied at 40 with 44 seconds left to play.
Watch the ball. It's over the wrong shoulder, but watch the ability of Champion. Jumps, spins in the air, and pulls it down. You don't do it any better. What a great catch. See, Skipper's not going to try to let him get around him and upfield. Kerrigan threw it early, but look at Champion go get the ball.
And that's why he was the Eastern nominee as outstanding player. And Al Bruno and the Ticats celebrate as they have come back to tie with 44 seconds left. And this 1989 Grey Cup game has established a record for points scored. 80 have been put on the board, and there are more to come.
Well, you said, Don, the team that had the ball last could win it. Saskatchewan's got 44 seconds to get downfield. But, boy, that was a 3rd down situation. That's a great catch. Well executed.
Tim McRae on the return. Stopped at the 36-yard line. Darryl Corbin made the tackle, and it appears that Tony Champion may have re-injured his ribs. What a courageous game he has played. He was hurt early and has continued to perform.
Oh, we got to take another look at this. Watch the ability of Tony Champion. He jumps, spins in the air, extends himself out, and pulls it in. Oh, that's a great catch. You got to be careful right now if you're Saskatchewan. You don't want to turn it over down here and give Osbaldiston a shot at it, but you got to try to win it too.
Austin going deep for Narcisse. Penalty flag. He was bumped by Lance Shields at the 49 of Hamilton. 32 seconds is the time remaining. Now this penalty flag.
Uncatchable.
No foul. The ball was uncatchable. Second down.
Right. He couldn't have got that ball. I don't care what he did. Narcisse went down the field, started to go deep. That's what Austin saw. Then Narcisse cut it off inside.
Uncatchable, Sheldon, but the Riders throwing deep on first down.
There's no fear there. There's no worry about anything. It's all or nothing, you know.
Was uncatchable as a result. No penalty. It's 2nd and 10. Austin to the sidelines for Elgard. He's got it at midfield. 25 seconds the time remaining. One more first down, and they could be within the field goal range of David Ridgway.
I would figure just looking at it from there to 54, 5, 10, 15 yards would make it a cinch. Excellent throw. Again, over the top of the linebacker, Pete Giftopoulos, and down into the hole, and then Elgard steps out of bounds. Great throw.
23 seconds, the clock running, the time remaining. Mark Guy hangs on.
Oh!
19 seconds left. Despite the hit of 2 defenders, Mark Guy was able to hang on to that football.
One-on-one coverage. The clock is running, 19 seconds. I think they're going to run this football. No, they're not either.
Sideline pattern, another first down with Mark Guy. And this is definitely within the range of David Ridgway. 9 seconds is the time left. The man on the spot. An opportunity to emerge as the Saskatchewan hero, number 36.
John Gregory is telling him to take the snap, put it where you want it on the field, and kneel down with it to get Ridgway the ideal spot to kick from. He's just don't let the clock run out on you. The ball was out of bounds, so it won't start until the snap, but it's well within range.
And that takes it down to 7 seconds.
And here comes Ridgway. Boy, Ken Austin's had a fabulous day throwing that football today. Mark Guy, we've never saw all year, but he has made some key catches and some excellent kick returns.
I would say there are any number of a dozen players who have had a fabulous day under the Skydome in this 1989 Grey Cup game. And it could all come down to this field goal try by David Ridgway. It will be a 34-yard, 35-yard attempt. Almost a reverse, with the score not nearly as high of what the Riders and Ticats provided in 1972 when Ian Sunder kicked that last play field goal, giving Hamilton a 13-10 victory. And you, as a member of that Saskatchewan team, Ron Lancaster, all you could do was stand there and watch.
That's all you can do. You know, you stand on that sidelines, and if that ball's pinned and kicked properly, it will kind of flip nice and lazy, and if this goes through, there's going to be about 3 seconds left on the clock. That's all.
Osbaldiston and Steve Jackson are in the end zone. The timeout has been called by Hamilton in the event that the field goal try by Ridgway should be wide. They will be kicking the ball out of the end zone.
Well, they sure will. The thing is, will he reach the end zone line? He may kick it all the way out for a single point if he misses, but they're going to try to prevent that. But well within his range. If he kicks it, he should split those uprights.
A 35-yard attempt for David Ridgway. It's up. It's good. 3:40, 2 seconds remain.
It's become legend about what Suter and Ridgway were talking about before that kick. Do you know, Sheldon?
What Glenn Suter says is he told him to concentrate on the blonde in the crowd. With it was looking nice that night.
Suter said he didn't have a chance to be nervous. But every time he's watched it since, he feels nervous. And he knows what happened in that moment as the Riders take a 43-40 lead in the 1989 Grey Cup.
Well, even me, knowing that it's, 30 some years away, and like my heart is beating just because of the intensity of this. So I can't imagine somebody who's been able to be in that situation and play. And just for them to have to understand that they have to still do their job one more time because they left those 2 seconds on the clock. And with this game, how crazy as it was, I'm sure everyone in there is like, oh, of course, it's not over yet.
Just squib it ahead. You got linemen up in front.
Kicking it to the sidelines into the hole. Picked up there by Steve Jackson. He's going to return the kick. And it's picked up by Suter. He runs it out of bounds. The Riders have won it. Has done what only Eagle Keys has been able to do before previously in Saskatchewan, and that's win a Grey Cup.
Well, you got to give them credit. We talked all week that these two teams are very even. We said it would come down to 3 points, and it did. You said the team that had the ball last would win. That's just the way it come down. Two good football teams. 50-some thousand people are going to go away happy. Naturally, the green guys are more happy, but it's been a great, great day for football.
I didn't realize it would be quite that prophetic when I said the team that had the ball last would win, but that indeed was the case. John Gregory and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have touched off.
The saddest part about that game is that somebody had to lose. The amount of comments I've heard from Ticat fans talking about their great memories of the 1989 Grey Cup, even though they weren't on the winning side. It's amazing.
Yeah, but when it's that good of a game, it's hard to... obviously, it would suck. It would suck to lost, but, it's just a classic, and it seemed like it was just destiny that, like they said, whoever had the ball the last was gonna win the game. It just bounced the Riders' way that time. Unfortunately, it's only one of 4 times it's bounced that way for the Riders, so we'll take it.
Tell us what you thought again.
I didn't think anything. Just line it up. Like I said, it's within your range. Just go through, make everything mechanical.
You weren't too happy when you made it.
I'll tell you what, someone's going to have to pull me out of a gutter tonight.
A night of celebration for you guys. Okay, Dave Ridgway, thanks very much, and congratulations. It's your day.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
Isn't that a great line? Somebody's going to have to pull me out of the gutter tonight.
And I'm sure that's what happened to you.
Over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It was 15 years, from 1951 to 66, a long period for Grey Cup appearances for the Roughriders. They won it. 13 years, from 1976 to 1989. Their last Grey Cup appearance, they've won it again. Scott?
All right, Don, now I'm with Roger Aldag. We're caught in the middle of this furious Saskatchewan celebration. Roger, you waited 13 years for this, and somehow I suspect the wait seemed worthwhile today.
I'm just so happy. I just like to say hello to my mom, my brother and sisters, and I love them, and it's just all for everybody, and it's just super.
It's for Gull Lake in particular, isn't it?
Everybody in Gull Lake, they're a great bunch of guys, and have a great time, and we're bringing her on home, baby!
Okay, get up there for the presentation. Don?
Well, it's only happened once before, and it will take place before a large crowd here at the Skydome and a vast television audience. the presentation of the 1989 Grey Cup.
At center field, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, au centre du terrain, le président directeur général de la Ligue canadienne de football, Mr. Roy McMurtry, CFL chairman and chief executive officer, and President Bill Baker, le président, will now present the Grey Cup to the 1989 CFL champion. Vont présenter la Coupe Grey aux champions de la Ligue canadienne 1989, the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
For those Saskatchewan fans, many of them who made a 38-hour trip by bus to Toronto to take in the Grey Cup game, the long drought and the long trip, all worthwhile now.
Well, it sure is. You know, it's great to see it go to Saskatchewan from the standpoint of there's any fans that have stuck with them through many, many years, and yet every year the attendance level is great. Wait till next year.
Well, next year has arrived for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Scott?
Question if Kent Austin should have started this game. I think we just saw the answer. How do you feel?
I just feel great. You know, I appreciate John giving me the start. It's something that I felt like I deserved, but it wasn't my victory. It was a total team effort.
Well, Dave Ridgway was a hero, and so were you. You know, I talked to Matt Dunnigan at the half. He was one of our game day experts, and he said, Mike Harrigan's playing great, but you watch, Kent Austin is just warming up, and you were towards the end of that first half.
Well, yeah, towards the end of the first half, I started to get some protection, and I started to get on the mark with my passes. And, you know, it was a long time coming. The whole first quarter was pretty rough. But the guys ran great routes, and they caught the ball for me, and the line blocked.
Well, Kent, you guys did it the whole season the hard way. You lost some key games, you made some mental errors, but you were up when you had to be, in particular today.
Yeah, it's a credit to the guys and the kind of character we got throughout the team. We made a lot of comebacks at the end of ball games the last 2 years.
What about those Foster's Grey Cup champions hats, Sheldon?
How much this win means to the people out there?
Oh, I've got an idea, and I'm just so happy for everybody back in Regina. And the whole
So every time I watch a Grey Cup celebration, I worry that they're going to break it. Now, if you don't know much about Grey Cup history, the fact that this trophy has survived it all is really a miracle. If I'm not mistaken, the Grey Cup was actually meant to be a hockey trophy. But it somehow ended up being a football trophy. It has been held for ransom, and it has been broken several times. In 1947, a fire destroyed the clubhouse of the Toronto Argonaut Rowing Club, and it damaged the Grey Cup. Many other trophies and artifacts in the clubhouse melted or were damaged beyond repair, but the Grey Cup survived by catching one of those handles onto a nail attached to a surviving wall when the shelf it sat upon collapsed. The Grey Cup survived that. The trophy has been broken 6 other times. Edmonton dropped it in 1978. In 1987, an Edmonton player... Edmonton's broken this thing a lot. Probably because they won it a lot. Somebody sat on it in 1987. Blake Dermott, who still does some analysis for radio in Edmonton, he headbutted it in 1993. It broke away from its base in 2006 when BC won it. One of the handles broke off in 2012. Did the Riders not break it in 2007 as well?
Yeah, they got broken at the 100th Grey Cup too, right? Is that what you read? Because Ricky Foley was carrying one piece of it, and yeah. I didn't break it when I got it at Dairy Queen.
That's good.
When they brought it to me, I didn't break it.
Roger Aldag does not want to let go of that trophy, does he?
He does not. He also looks like he's 58 in that picture.
He injured his wrist, was unable to snap the ball, as the result, the conversion to guard. And he has been one of the outstanding guards in the Canadian Football League ever since.
Yeah, it's only fitting that he carries that thing off the field. He's waited a long time.
And it is appropriate that a veteran such as Roger Aldag, who thought, even when they lost in '76, oh well, there will be many more opportunities. He had to wait 13 years to get this chance to hold that cherished trophy high. And to hold it high he does, along with other teammates here at the Skydome in Toronto in celebration of this 43-40 win. I don't think he's going to let anybody else carry that trophy up.
I wouldn't if I was him. This is all he's ever wanted, is to play on a Grey Cup winner with Foley and Illebrand and Aldag, all teammates with the Regina Rams, all breaking in around the same time. It's great to see him carry it home.
1966.
So Roger Aldag was a rookie in 1976, and he did not get to play in a Grey Cup until 1989. And good thing that they made it count, because they won his one and only Grey Cup appearance. He did retire in 1993, and the Roughriders clearly honored Roger Aldag as soon as his career was over. He was named to the Plaza of Honor the same year he retired, and also retired his number the same year that he retired. That doesn't happen with players. So another, yes, number 44, an absolute legend in Saskatchewan.
Now we see the celebration. Man, to be in the locker room after a Grey Cup championship, that would be phenomenal.
He didn't stop.
I said there were a number of individual stars. Who do you at home think are the recipients of the Foster's Grey Cup MVP awards? Let's go down to field level and find out.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we draw your attention once more to center field for more presentation and celebration. The Foster's Grey Cup Most Valuable Player Awards will be presented by CFL Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Roy McMurtry and Edward T. Kunkel, Executive Chairman of Molson Breweries. La présentation des récompenses Foster aux joueurs les plus méritants par messieurs Roy McMurtry et Edward T. Kunkel. The Foster's Most Valuable Canadian aux meilleurs joueurs canadiens. De la Saskatchewan from Saskatchewan, number 36, le 36, Dave Ridgway. And now, the Foster's Most Valuable Defensive Player, le joueur défensif par excellence de ce match de la Coupe Grey 1989, de la Saskatchewan, le numéro 99, number 99, Charles Klingbeil. And the winner of the Foster's Most Valuable Offensive Player, le gagnant de la récompense au joueur par excellence à l'attaque, de la Saskatchewan, le numéro 5, number 5, Ken Austin.
Those are the selections. Kent Austin, Chuck Klingbeil, and David Ridgway. Ridgway with 16 points, 9 points as the result of field goals in the fourth quarter. And the final one, the big one as far as Saskatchewan fans are concerned, from 35 yards away. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, the 1989 Grey Cup champions, with a 43-40 win over Hamilton.
Around Empire Stadium in
They're not waiting at all for the award recipients to get into the locker room They're getting after it, and look at Bobby J. Let's listen to this.
You don't have to say a thing. Just smile from ear to ear.
I tell you what, it's a great victory for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, for the province, for all the Regina fans, and heck, myself, I enjoy it just as much as anyone else.
Does it come any sweeter than this?
Not the way we came about it. You know, we had the 4-game skid in the season. We were 9-9. We beat Calgary. We went into Edmonton. They only gave us a chance to beat them. And then we come in here and we beat Hamilton. That just proves to show you what kind of ball club we have.
Bobby, you had to make some key adjustments on defense at halftime. What did you do?
Well, in the first half, we really started coming out the way we played against Edmonton. We were blitzing the heck out of them. We were bringing everyone, and they caught us a few times. When you blitz, you're going to get caught. So we came in at halftime and said, hey, we're going to play our old type of defense, the defense that's worked, so that's what we went back to. Hey, we won. That's the bottom line.
Bobby, do you think the airport in Saskatchewan, in Regina, is big enough to hold all the fans that are going to be there?
I hope the city's still standing by the time we get back. I think half the city's here, though. It's just a great thing for Roger and Bob and the whole city, and I'm just happy.
Bobby, you were around during a couple of the lean years. If you can, just put it in perspective what this Grey Cup means.
Hey, that takes a lot, what does it mean? It means hard work for myself since I was 5 years old playing the game. For the Saskatchewan Riders, it means a lot for the whole province for being on the Grey Cup for so long. And it's just a tremendous asset to the players that were on this team and that made it all happen.
Bobby, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Standing on my left is Dave Albright. Dave, congratulations.
It wasn't long before this that the team's survival was put into question in Saskatchewan. Now, that 1989 year, it's a fairy tale one in so many ways, because they hadn't been to the game for 2 decades. And then the 90s were some of the worst football we've ever seen a team put on the field for much of the decade. They luckily got to the Grey Cup somehow. Another fairy tale in 1997, but when you're up against the juggernaut of Doug Flutie Argonaut team, you could guess how that went. But this 1989 season was actually a magical one for so many ways. You can imagine if they didn't win that game.
The interesting thing is actually them having to go to or on the road in the playoffs 2 games and then to the Grey Cup. It actually put them more in debt. They added to their debt after this. They were like $1.6 million in the hole. So you can see the amazingness of winning the Grey Cup, but just a community-owned team who doesn't have a lot of money, it actually started the decline into, I know they still went some telemiracles type of stuff after this and the touchdown lottery and all that stuff, but magical night though, magical night for them. And then
it's just like one of those things, I'd rather lose by 100 points than lose by 3, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to congratulate Saskatchewan with a vengeance, but they cornerback should be cut, and the referee, he should be kicked out of the league. And if the commissioner and nobody don't listen to me now, I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much. And when you're an old guy, you'll be remembering this as one of the greatest games.
He had some strong words.
He's like the McLeod Bethel Thompson of his time. Wow. Jeez. The one other thing I was going to say is 18,000 people, including my father, went and met the team at Taylor Field after they got on the plane and came back at like 3 a.m. 18,000 people at Taylor Field.
That is the coach is getting champagne dumped on his hat. John Gregory. That's Bob Poley, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
He no-sold that. He didn't react at all.
May you each wear your Grey Cup.
John Gregory was the beaut.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney.
Oh, that's great. I really appreciate him sending us that message. He comes out to see us every now and out there, and I think he has a good time when he gets in the prairie.
Coach, you had to make some adjustments in the halftime. What did you do?
Well, we said offensively what we had to do was hit our backs out of the backfield. And we felt that they were open, that we could get the ball to them. Defensively, we changed our front a little bit to try and stop the run. and we changed our coverages a bit also. We tried to fool it a little bit different way in the second half on our coverages.
What was the reason for the slow start?
Geez, I didn't see a slow start that game. I'll tell you what. Holy, what a great football game! I'll tell you. The CFL has had 3 tremendous great championships in a row.
And what a great finish. Your reaction on the winning field goal.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was something. I mean, it's... Is that me? Oh, that's me. Good vertical, John. Good vertical. There's still 2 seconds left. Now we got to get everybody under control. I thought we were going to get a penalty for about 200 people on the field. That champagne burns your eyes, by the way.
It does, doesn't it? I know from past experience. What do you say to the fans in Saskatchewan who waited so long for this victory?
Well, I'm especially proud of this Grey Cup for the Saskatchewan fans, the ones that have hung in there for all those lean years, and they've just hung in there and just been great people and fans. Our team appreciates it. I really appreciate it.
I don't think the airport in Regina is going to be big enough.
Well, I tell you what, I don't really care. I'm looking forward to seeing them all.
Just a tremendous cap to a great season. One of your young fans who may be around for the next Grey Cup celebration.
Oh, geez.
You had to do that. That stuff gets in your eyes. It stings.
Feels good. Feels good. Oh.
You waited a long time for this.
Well, we sure have.
I would love to find the identity of that baby having a bottle of Pilsner waved around right in front.
John, my congratulations and congratulations from the
So John Bauer asked, does anyone know what the 89ers shirts mean? Was the team motto. So it shows them wearing, it looks like the 49ers logo, but 89ers. So I assume that was just the kind of thing that the team did. This is the 89 and they wanted to win, and it's the whole 11 years, that's enough kind of thing going on there, right?
So yeah, I don't know if those I thought I saw there is a sponsor on there's a Molson logo on the one side of it, so I don't know if those shirts ended up being sold or not, but they're sick shirts.
They are.
I don't know if they were out there or publicly available or not. Dave Ridgway ended up releasing a book called Robo-Kicker, an Odyssey Through the CFL. I have read this book, and it is still out there. So if you are wanting to read some CFL literature, there are some great books out there, and the Dave Ridgway one could get you started if you want to get reading some CFL books.
Yeah, and I believe Rob Vanstone has also written a book about all of the Ryder Grey Cup winning seasons.
When I handed my sweater, my jersey to the Premier of Ontario and said, you can have this for one day, and he took it. Unbelievable game, just unbelievable. The crowd here, the fans, the Saskatchewan fans, just let me say to them back home, you're the very best fans any place in Canada, in the history of Canada. We're so proud of you and so proud of the Roughriders today.
Now, at this point, Mr. Politician, are you going to take credit for the victory?
No, just glad to be here. Just glad to be here, and we cheered our heart out. So did the mayor, so did everybody. It was just great to be in this Grey Cup.
Your worship, I'm sure you weren't around in 1966. You may have been as a fan, but this one may be sweeter.
You bet it is. I was around as a fan. I was in high school back in those days, but this is something that's really special. I've been a mayor a year now, and this is just equivalent to getting elected a year ago. It's such a highlight, and I want to pay tribute to a guy like Bob Morrow, the mayor of Hamilton. He's a real gentleman. I'm going out to Hamilton tomorrow to hand him the city flag from Regina, and he's going to be flying that from the flag mast of the Hamilton City Hall for a week. So we'll be having a little payoff tomorrow as well.
Is it too early to ask either of you gentlemen about the special celebrations I'm sure you've got planned?
Well, we're going back tomorrow, and everybody's going to be in Taylor Field around 5 o'clock, and we'll just have one of the finest celebrations you're going to see any place. But I'm sure the parties throughout Saskatchewan, and indeed across the country tonight, are going to last for 24 hours or more.
There aren't too many corners in this country where Rider pride isn't in evidence whenever Saskatchewan play.
No, that's that's what I think was the real difference in the final analysis. We have something that Hamilton doesn't have and never will have, and that's rider pride, and it really showed.
We see Bob Poley's smiling face in there once in a while. He, born in Saskatoon. Now, I got to meet him in Regina in 2022, the Grey Cup. I went to the Legends Luncheon, and that big smile, that big mustache, unmistakable in Riderville. He was a rookie with the Riders from 78 to 84, and then he went to Calgary for a few years. He came back to Saskatchewan in 1988 and wrapped up his career in 1982. Getting that Grey Cup here in 1989. There were a lot of guys like the Polecat, like Roger Alday, that had these long careers. And lightning struck in 89, and they were able to celebrate that championship.
Unbelievable. Came down to the final play like that, and it's just great for the league. A record crowd here. I mean, our fans, I bet they're driving up and down every street in Saskatchewan right now.
Al Ford, the Riders GM, the Mayor of Regina, and the Premier of the Province of Saskatchewan, Grant Devine, thank you very much. Congratulations to you all. Right now, let's go back to Scotto.
All right, Steve, I'm with Al Bruno, the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Al, no shame in the Ticats effort today. It's unfortunate in the greatest game ever played in the Grey Cup that you had to come up short.
Great game. We came back and tied them. It was a great offensive show. Right across Canada, they couldn't see a better Grey Cup game. But it's a damn shame. I'm so disappointed because both teams played hard, but the damn officiating dictated on that call down there in the end zone on the interference call. We had the guy double team, a long penalty, put the ball on one, touchdown, 7 points. That they shouldn't have had.
Al, we're looking right now at the reaction of you at the end of the game, and you couldn't contain your exasperation.
Well, I don't care what you say about anything about. We did a great job. The coach did a great job. But number 55, the official, I don't care who he is, the son of a gun, 3 times, he didn't make the proper call. We had an interception down in the end zone. We thought he was out. But both teams played well, and I want the whole. But when you look at it realistically, it's a damn shame that it has to be decided on an official's call.
Al, I know you feel bad for all your players to come up short in a brilliant game like this, but if you feel worst for anybody, it has to be Tony Champion.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're talking about interference. They tackled him down there deep, and they didn't call it. Tony did a great job. He was playing hurt. All the guys played well. We lost last year for a while, and they took advantage of it. But the guys pulled up, and they did well. You couldn't ask for a better game on both sides. I'm happy for John Gregory and his staff. They did a great job. I think our guys did a great job, too, and our staff. And it made for a hell of a football game.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate your time.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Steve?
Thank you, Scott. We're back in the Saskatchewan Roughriders dressing room with Tim McRae. Tim, congratulations on a great game.
Oh, thank you. It's well worth it.
Tim McRae running back, returning kicks, carrying the ball. But that Al Bruno interview there, man, like,
icy.
I mean, obviously losing a big game like that, you're so emotional. But both him and Tony, and at the end of the game, he looked like he was going after, like he was going to fight that ref. Like, he was going to take him out. Man, as a fan myself, I can understand getting fired up, and nobody wants to be on the losing side of any game, especially a game like that. But it's wild to watch.
I'll tell you what, we played a hell of a game today. Everybody played great. It's been a great year. Glad to bring the cup home to Regina.
There must have been some times this season when you doubted that you'd be here.
Well, in the past we've had, some fairly good seasons before, and we never made it this far. But last year, I think what happened with Winnipeg really showed us that you can just be okay during the season. But if you're peaking at the right time, you can win it all. And when it came down to it, we are the best team in the CFL right now.
Do you think you may have been a team of destiny?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but I think we were more of a team of hard work. A team that overcame stuff. We had all sorts of injuries. All sorts of guys played. I mean, we had a quarterback playing slot. We had backup receivers playing. We had backup. I mean, we had backup everything playing. And guys just did a hell of a job. I think it was more hard work than anything.
A lot is going to be said and a lot written about the way the defense played, but I thought the offense just kept coming. It never quit because you were down, you came from behind, you went in front, and then you had to come back again.
Well, that's true. We never did quit, but neither did our defense. You know, our defense had some trouble in the start of the game, but they saw that we were able to move the ball and score points, so I think it gave them some strength that we kept coming back, and in the end, the defense won us the game. They shut them down in the second half, and we didn't do a hell of a lot as an offense in the second half, but the defense played good in that half. So, I mean, it's a total team effort, and, you know, if you look at how we scored by quarters, you'll see that. First half, we rang up the points. Second half, we shut them down defensively.
Ray, have you got a special message for those fans in Saskatchewan that stayed with you through all the lean years?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what can you say about it? A lot of cities, they would have packed their bags a long time ago. Our fans have been great all year. All the families, the guys' wives, everybody just really helped out, gave us a lot of support.
Do you think the airport will be big enough to hold the celebration?
I doubt it. They'll be all the way down Louvain Drive.
Now, what were you thinking when Ridgway lined up to kick that field goal? Give me your honest gut feeling at the time.
Well, that's funny you asked that. I was just talking to Tom Burgess about that because all week they've been playing replays of the 72 Grey Cup, and they talked about Ian Center's field goal and how time stood still. And that's what I was thinking about. You know, on TV they say time stood still, and I remember standing there thinking, man, he's right. I was standing there thinking, man, the clock ain't running. Time is standing still. And, boy, it's a hell of a feeling.
Ray, congratulations on a super game and a great Grey Cup victory. Kent Austin has joined me now. Kent, you've had a few minutes to digest this victory. Has it changed any from the time you talked to Scott out there?
No, I don't know if it's really sunk in yet. This is just a great victory. I'm just really happy for everybody.
Do you have any idea what this means to Saskatchewan?
I've got a little bit of an idea, but I know it's been a long time coming for our fans, and our fans really deserve it.
Do you think you have played a better game at quarterback?
Well, I didn't think I was going to play too well there at the beginning, but I knew we could get back to our good game plan and have a chance to win.
It took the offense a little time to get rolling. What was the problem?
I don't know. I think I came out and tried to move the pocket a little bit too much and not run some of the stuff that I run well, and I just tried to drop back a little bit more in the second quarter and throw the ball downfield.
Any plans?
No, I'm just anxious to get back to Regina and celebrate, go back to Nashville where I'm from and relax and have a good off season. I want to say hi to my family back in Nashville that didn't come up, and to Joe in Dallas. I want to say hi to him too.
Kent, congratulations on a great game and a super great
That's Kent Austin, the starting quarterback for the Roughriders in the 1989 Grey Cup, and he has some involvement in 75% of Saskatchewan's Grey Cup championships. Starting quarterback in 1989, head coach in 2007, head coach of the opposing team in 2013. I mean, an important guy in Rough Rider history, no matter what you think about him.
For sure. I'm just thinking it's weird seeing him smile so much.
That struck me too.
Now we got Jeff Fairholm. Jeff Fairholm actually liked the tweet about this watch party, so that was kind of cool. I don't know if he actually got on or not, but that was pretty cool to see.
Ray Elgard, who Steve Armitage talked to before Kent Austin, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2002. Jeff Fairholm, not a Hall of Famer, but it has been argued for years that he should be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. But you can't argue with the success of Ray Elgard. When he retired, 830 catches, 13,198 yards, 78 touchdowns. He had 1,000 yards in 8 seasons in his career, retiring in 1996, winning Most Outstanding Canadian 3 separate times, and a champion. In 1989, he got to go into the Hall of Fame in 2002 with his teammate, Roger Aldag. An amazing career.
That point, I think 7 weeks ago when we had Gary Greger come in, he just said, look, we're a different team. We're called the 89ers now. We didn't consider ourselves the Rough Riders. We called ourselves the 1989 Grey Cup champions, and here we are.
Ken Austin ever played a better game as far as you're concerned?
Not in my 2 years that I've been here. He played super. He was calm, cool, collected in the huddle. When things got a little out of control late in the fourth quarter, he told us in his southern drawl to hush, and we hushed, and he just took control and led us down the field. All the credit goes to Kent.
Is it too early, perhaps, and I don't want to put a jinx on it, to start talking dynasty, perhaps? This is a young club. This is a club that gained some valuable playoff experience today.
I don't think you're ever going to see the word dynasty associated with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We're a blue-collar team, just like Hamilton is. Hamilton's been winning for years, and you don't see the word a dynasty associated with them. So, we could win for the next 10 years, and we still wouldn't be called a dynasty. People love us. We want to stay this way. We had champagne, but it's beer that we look forward to. We're not a champagne team. We're a beer-drinking team, and so are our fans. I'm so happy for them.
You got 20 seconds to say something to the fans in Saskatchewan.
What can you say about our fans? They're fantastic. They're so fantastic. I'm a little worried about what they're doing to my house right now, because after we won last week, I had stuff all over my house. So, Shannon, take care of it.
Thanks a lot, Guy. Okay, now let's go up to Don and Ron.
Well, Jeff,
and there we had the answer from Jeff Fairholm about the 89ers. Now, I'm actually reading an article here from 2001. So, Gary Greger, he is a sports psychologist. And the Roughriders, they brought him in, right? And he said, "Oh, we're not the Roughriders anymore. We're the 89ers. We're the Grey Cup champions." And clearly, that mentality took the Riders to the spoken land, or the promised land. Now, what I'm reading here, he was the keynote speaker talking to some farmers in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba. So he had quite the career, obviously, and Fairholm with the shout out there in the post game, a very interesting character in this Grey Cup run.
Well, the momentum changed so many different times during the game.
We'll take it.
13-1 at the end of the quarter, and then all of a sudden Saskatchewan caught fire. Hamilton stayed with them for a while, but Saskatchewan started to take control when we got into the third quarter. Austin was hot. The receivers were hot. Hamilton came back and made it close. It was just a heck of a football game, and when you play a football game, somebody's going to lose.
Well, Ron, we've had a lot of fun describing games for our CBC television audiences this year. We've had 3 great Grey Cup games in succession. Let's do it all again next year for another encore.
Okay, as long as it'll be the best game ever played.
All right, Scott.
All right then, Don, and for the next 52 weeks at least, the Grey Cup belongs to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A 23-year drought is over on the prairies, and few would argue this is a just reward for the Riders and their fans. The moment has not been lost on either party, and you can be sure celebrations will continue for a while. And now the road to the 77th Grey Cup is over, and as always, it seemed filled with hurdles. It was yet another turbulent season for the CFL, one in which the survival of the CFL was called into question on more than one occasion. But this is nothing new. Crisis and this Canadian Football League seem to go hand in hand. And as always, the league survived. Long enough now to hand out 77 Grey Cups. And in 7 months' time, the road to the 78th begins. We hope you'll join us then on the CFL on CBC. And we thank you for being with us this year and showing us your support in the form of increased TV ratings. We are delighted you could spend this Grey Cup Sunday with us. Now, on behalf of our entire production and technical crews who worked so hard the season long, the country over, to bring you the CFL on CBC, we say thank you and good night from the Skydome, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us for this Grey Cup rewatch, the 1989 game. I'm Travis Currah. He is Sheldon Jones. And what struck me at the end of that broadcast, Sheldon, and I know there are probably a lot of other CFL fans that feel the same way, watching and hearing those words from Scott Oake, talking about the CFL's future being in question, talking about crisis times in the Canadian Football League in 1989. So a lot of the people that trash talk the league, say it's not of quality, probably didn't even exist when it was being talked about in 1989. But here we are in 2025, gearing up for another season in a few short months, free agency this week, the draft coming up, training camp after that, and fans are going to be in stadiums in 9 cities across Canada enjoying another season of CFL football. Thanks so much for being on here for nearly 4 hours, Sheldon. What a great idea. Thank you for pushing me and encouraging me to do it. But we did it, and thanks to everybody who stuck around. So a subscription would be really cool if you're not already. I feel like if you've been here this long, you probably already are. But this has been a special night, Sheldon. It's been a lot of fun.
It has, and I think, ever since I kind of joined the pod here, I kind of wanted to help take it to the next level, and I think this is just another one of those things where it's another stepping stone that we are making to go to the next level. And we don't have any sort of how do I say this? It's not a competition when it comes to CFL pods. We want everyone to be great. We want, a high tide to rise all ships, but we want to try to be the best that we can possibly be and give you guys the content that you deserve, because CFL fans are passionate, and we are also passionate, and more things to come. And this was just a very cool thing, kind of last minute, that we were able to put together. But thanks for being here with us.
Cheers to you. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. We'll talk to you soon on 2 and Out.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.